Yeah, I have no idea how it's handling recording today. I had to change the VPNs, like, or not the VPN, I had to change the, like, little onk path to where it usually records to. So it's possibly just creating a really big buffer that's gonna eventually blow the fuck up. So that's funny, I guess. I don't know if funny is the right word here. I know that I'm laughing. I don't know if funny is the right word though. Like, funny feels like the right way to phrase it. Heck, funny even sounds like the way to go. But like, can we be honest? I have absolutely no idea if this is gonna mollywop itself. Oh, hey, it's working. Wait, is it even right now? What time is it? Okay, cool, it is working. It's actually updating itself. Good, good, good. I had to change the path. I had the server's name changed, but I'm also having to connect over, it's connecting over my local network, but it's still like advertising over a different domain, so that's whatever. I wanted to watch this because I like Dark Souls, like a lot, but I think you know that. I don't know if you know that or not, but you should know that. I happen to think it's pretty fucking baller, actually. Like, to be very specific, I think it is really fun. Reason being, I like games where you can, like, rely on positioning, timing, and, yeah, I like those kind of games. Positioning and timing is my big thing. Like, if you give me those things, I'm generally pretty happy, and it doesn't take much more for me. It's really that. It's really just that. I love those things. I'm a gamer for a lot of reasons. But mostly because I like positioning and timing, which happens to be something that carries you through in a litany of games, ranging from shooters to MMORPGs to action RPG-like games, where you stand, a distance to you, and the time for another action to take place across this distance is like so remarkably important that there's really nothing to say about it other than, well, you see, I'm pretty awesome some days, and I think I can be cool a little bit. And by cool, I mean I care about positioning and stuff. I don't know what else you'd think I'd meant by such a thing, but let's be real. Those are kind of the things. Those are the important things. Like, some people wants to go far in life, some people wants to seize the world, to take it from everything that might feel like a bound. What I want to do, the one thing I really want to do, win at games. So anyways, there's a Dark Souls video. The new discovery just dropped. New bullshit came out. New things have been discovered. There's places to go and there's ways to get to them. But I think the slightly cooler thing is, I went back and reset up my little sync thing container running in my closet. It writes everything to, whatchamacallit, it writes everything to a directory in an external drive that's pretty fucking bonkers big. And so it's the big old, it has access to the 10 terabyte one. I'm about to slap another disk in that array. Not like anytime soon, but I kind of want to, you know? I can keep a recording of all my streams. In case I do want to edit something, I don't have to like retroactively figure it the fuck out. It's just like easy. And if I need to like, you know, prove that I'm the basest bitch in the world that never called anyone a fascist in the big 2020, 2016, or 2025. I mean, it's funny, it's very helpful for that too, I guess, I don't know. I'm pretty awesome when it comes to being a fucking loser. I don't know what else I can do, but I can sure do being a loser pretty well. I had to find out how to get this hook. Oh my gosh, I ended up getting to it pretty quickly without remembering that I even had that tab open. This thing is bananas. It buffs your dex by 5, and it's a level 1 run we're doing right now in DS2. So this is like big noticeable, but it's not really the biggest thing out there. Like, if I really, really, really need to manage my timing for this, I can swap off of it briefly in my offhand and swap it back to use it for more damn. I was considering mundane weapons. This is apparently not as good in DS2 as it is in DS3. Works off your max equip load stat and your character's current equip burden, not your burden. Because the ring is which, by the way, I need to grab this too. Like, we're gonna have them for different reasons, but there's like a few different things we might want to do. This is definitely one of those bastards. It's like, the stamina one's the big one. Like, really, ring of the embedded. Oh my gosh, there's like a few things that work very nicely together. Ring of Restoration might be a solid maybe for the level 1 run. I needed to go back and pick this up, honestly. Yeah, I actually need to go do this. Like, that would be so solid. This one's gonna be solid as. Alright, y'all ready? Let's see if they have music in the background. Yeah,
in Dark Souls 1, upon finishing the game's final boss, Gwyn the Lord of Cinder, the player character is effectively locked out from returning to the rest of the game for that new game cycle. Lighting the bonfire that appears after his death triggers an ending. But even attempting to leave the arena will instantly trigger the Dark Lord ending and send the player to New Game Plus. Although From Software has since added the ability to...
Usurpation of Flame is my favorite. Like, in Dark Souls 3. It's my favorite ending, and it is the most fitting thing that they could have ever shoved in there, and it's beautiful, and it's lovely, and it's swell.
Choose when to start a new cycle in their later games. This design choice has been an unavoidable annoyance for Dark Souls 1 players since the game's release, as this design choice was kept intact with the release of Dark Souls Remastered in 2018. However, after nearly 15 years since the game's original release, I managed to figure out a way to circumvent this called Kill and Escape.
It's a thinking person.
What? What just happened? Why am I here?
Hi, Regal here. In this video, I will show you how to perform the Kill and Escape yourself.
Okay, let's go.
On November 21st, 2024, a glitch hunter by the name of Eloise posted in the Dark Souls speedrunning Discord a massive discovery. A glitch called ladder storage had been discovered in Dark Souls 1. This glitch is instrumental in getting the Kill and Escape to work properly, so if you're not familiar with it, I'll give a quick summary. Using a critical attack such as a riposte after a parry or a backstab on an enemy while they're near a...
This exists, like this part of this is existed in other games, including DS2, and is well understood, and also in Elden you can get away with some wild shit too. This is part 1, and it is so lovely to see this disambiguated.
Ladder.
Oh my gosh.
If you press confirm to enter the ladder animation at the same time as you press the shoulder button to initiate the critical, your character will begin the ladder climbing animation.
Like, FromSoft games are so predictably breakable, and I fucking love it.
But cancel it into the attack instead. This is what initiates the ladder storage state. During ladder storage, your character's coordinates are saved at the entry point of the ladder where you attempted to begin climbing, as your character's coordinates do not update during a ladder climb. The game essentially considers you to still be climbing a ladder. This means you can travel all the way to the other side of the map, and then when you quit out, as long as something is not broken your storage state, you will respawn back at the location where you attempted to begin climbing the ladder. The very same day that
My closet server says it's dead, but that's a lie.
Eloise posted the discovery of ladder storage in Dark Souls, I began testing on stream to see if this could be used to escape the kiln after defeating Gwyn, to circumvent being taken to New Game Plus. The concept is simple. If you're inside of Gwyn's arena and your coordinates are saved outside of the kiln because of ladder storage, you could theoretically quit out and reload to escape without being inside of the kiln, and avoid being forced into the game's credits, which is what resets the world state itself. After a few hours of testing on Prepare to Die Edition, I couldn't get it to work, and I was ready to give up when the ending cutscene started to play from what seemed like a failed idea. After waiting for the cutscene to finish, to my surprise, the credits did not play whatsoever, and I spawned an undead bird with the game in the exact same state that I had left it in. I had just escaped the kiln without starting a new cycle. This was the very first recorded kiln escape. Unfortunately, upon triggering the final cutscene, the game had been sent to New Game Plus, but otherwise everything was left exactly intact. I did end up finding ways to avoid the game being sent to New Game Plus in Prepare to Die Edition, which I'll discuss later. But I tested the same thing on Dark Souls Remastered and discovered that using the same setup, it not only avoided the game state being reset, but it also avoids setting the flag for New Game Plus as well. That brings us to the explanation. I'll discuss later, but otherwise everything was left exactly intact. I did with the game to work, kill, and avoid being forced into the game's credits, which is what resets the world state itself. After a few hours of testing on Prepare to Die Edition, I couldn't get it to work, and I was ready to give up when the ending cutscene started to play from what seemed like a failed idea. After waiting for the cutscene to finish, to my surprise, the credits did not play whatsoever, and I spawned an undead Berg with the game in the exact same state that I had left it in. I had just escaped the kiln without starting a new cycle. This was the very first recorded kiln escape. Unfortunately, upon triggering the final cutscene, the game had been sent to New Game Plus, but otherwise everything was left exactly intact. I did end up finding ways to avoid the game being sent to New Game Plus in Prepare to Die Edition, which I'll discuss later. But I tested the same thing on Dark Souls Remastered and discovered that using the same setup, it not only avoided the game state being reset, but it also avoids setting the flag for New Game Plus as well. That brings us to the explanation of how to execute the kilnscape itself. This is how you do it. First, you have to open the kiln with the 4 Lord Souls. Unfortunately, because a loading screen would reset your ladder storage state, kiln escape using ladder storage does not work with a wrong warp into the kiln. You need to actually have access to it with the door open from offering the 4 Lord Souls to the Lord Vessel. Second, activate ladder storage. The best place to do this is probably the ladder in Undead Parish and the bell tower before Gargoyles. However, I recommend clearing out all the enemies in the church beforehand, as if any of the enemies stagger you, it will break the ladder storage state. You also might need to roll out of the critical attack when initiating ladder storage to avoid entering free fall when you exit the animation. This is another thing to keep in mind while executing kiln escape. Any free fall animation will also cancel the ladder storage state, so you don't want to walk off any platforms on your way from the ladder back to the kiln. Third, enter the kiln and kill Gwen. As previously mentioned, you need to avoid the ladder storage state from being broken on this trip to Gwen, as it is very fragile. After avoiding all the enemies in the church and taking the elevator down to Firelink Shrine, you will come to Framp's pit. If Frampt is still here for you, simply speak to him and use the warp option to enter the altar. Fair warning, however, make sure you wake up Frampt before initiating ladder storage, as punching him to wake him up will cause a mini stagger that can break the storage state as well. If he's not here for you, you need to use another glitch called an air roll so you can activate the trigger to warp you downwards without entering the free fall animation. Air rolls can be performed by simply equipping enough gear to put your character in between 25% to 29.2% equip load, and then spamming roll on the edge while in midair so you can roll while falling. Now that you're in Firelink Altar, you can proceed to Gwen's Fog Wall. Just make sure you don't get hit by any Black Knights on the way. Once you're passing through Gwen's Fog Wall, you need to also make sure you spam roll out of the fog, because otherwise you will take a very small drop when exiting, which will also break the ladder storage state. Now you simply need to kill Gwen without getting hit whatsoever. Good luck. And now for the final step of executing kiln escape.
the hardest
Once you
thing
have made it all the way here without ladder storage being broken and Gwen has died, there is one more thing you must do. Unfortunately, you cannot just quit out of the game and
wait, so Revel's not the answer? Because I thought Revel and Victory would be the answer.
reload, because transitioning down to Firelink Altar has updated your save coordinates to the position where you spawned in by the Lord Vessel. However, the position stored from the ladder still exists in the buffered queue that the game uses to update the player's position. So what you need to do now is break the ladder storage and then quit out of the game before 4 frames pass, as the game tries to update that buffered queue with your new location in Gwen's arena. The easiest way to do this is to do a sequence of animations that drains your stamina, with the last animation being long enough to give you time to input a quit out as it executes and depletes your stamina bar. Once your stamina bar is fully depleted, your character will enter the animation of falling off a ladder. If you quit out during this animation in time, upon reload, you will find yourself in Undead Parish directly underneath the ladder where you initially stored your position. Gwen is dead, but the rest of the world of Dark Souls is just as you left it. Just make sure you don't use a homeward bone or dark sign until you rest at a bonfire, as your last location is still set to Gwen's arena. If you do this and warp back there, you will no longer have any means of escape. Whenever you're ready to enter the next new game cycle, simply enter Firelink Altar again, and the final cutscene will immediately start to play. When executing this glitch for the first time, I recommend not only using save files for practice, but also the very useful tool called Gadget, which I'll link in the description.
Yes. Yes. There's a reason that people keep Cheat Engine open without cheating in a lot of Souls games. The primary reason is you do benefit from tools like assessing the current flags that you have. That's the reason why I don't get moldy at people just off rip.
Tab on Gadget will display your character's last save coordinates, and while you're in the ladder storage state, it should remain static the entire time. If at any point you see this number start updating, it means you have broken ladder storage in some way. The only time your stored position should update is when you enter Firelink Altar or when you actually execute the final step of the kiln escape itself. I also briefly want to mention that in Prepare to Die Edition, you can do everything exactly the same way, but for some reason, you will still see the final cutscene and everything will be scaled up to New Game Plus power level. However, the game state will not be reset, as it will still circumvent the credits. In order to avoid the New Game Plus scaling for Prepare to Die Edition, I had to actually use Oswald's ladder in the bell tower, which was very annoying to say the least. After executing the kiln escape, you will also clip out of bounds and get stuck, so you need to use a force quit wrong warp to get back to safety. Unfortunately, if you fail this force quit wrong warp, you'll spawn back in Gwen's arena without any means of escape. I'm not sure why this difference exists between the two versions, nor do I understand why it seems to only be possible at Oswald's ladder, but I thought it was important to mention. So with that, that's all I have for today's video. I will likely be posting a meme run soon that features the kiln escape in it, so keep an eye out for that. But until next time, thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. That was beautiful. That was fucking beautiful. Well, blah, blah, blah. Hi. I hope you're well. We're gamers. I hope you have fun being a gamer, because we're gamers too. Kind of curious. I also am one of those people that has a fleeting sense of security and safety in the world. No, that's not directly accurate enough. I give like so few fucks, but I give so many fucks at the same time, you know? How do I fucking explain this? Kind of just roll with it, you know? Just kind of fucking roll with it. That's kind of the thing. You just gotta roll with it sometimes. And that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna roll with it. Well, this is gonna enter weird.
Okay. Got arrested. This is like some new fucking thing. Some like guy got charged with domestic terrorism. So that one guy had that happen, like that was a few days ago, and now it's again.
Afghan national now facing terroristic threat charges after he posted a video saying he was building a bomb with Fort Worth, Texas.
Why would you post a video saying that you're gonna build a bomb? Like, I mean, you gotta be fucking retarded to do that. How do you do this?
Target. Christina Coleman joining us live with the latest on that story from the Southland. Christina.
Yep.
Hi, Kevin. Yes, DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin says just one day before the terrorist attack against the National Guard in Washington, D.C., another Afghan national who was paroled into the U.S. under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome program was arrested for
Operation Allies Welcome. And the guy's
allies to who?
Talking about building a bomb.
Like, bro. Like, I want my countrymen who, like, start wishing vitriol and hate and death on people to go fucking to the jail forever. What? How is this more of an ally than them? I'm ally number 1. I just treat people equally. If you do certain things, I will want you out of mainstream society and just plopped into a hole. Have fun.
Bomb in America.
I'm hoping. Let's see. One last try. Fuck.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Threatening to blow up a building in
Level
Fort
1
Worth.
run.
Authorities
Let's
identified
go.
the suspect as
I won't
Mohammed
be on long.
Dawood Alakoze.
right.
DHS says he's accused of posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb intended for the Fort Worth area.
How do you do this?
Brooke Taylor reports that he was arrested on Tuesday by the Texas Department of Public Safety and FBI.
I won't be on for terribly long, but I need my pause play button to work again, so I have to, like, launch this. I kind of forgot to. I was setting up stuff on the Steam Deck and Compute Poot. The Steam Deck and my little server in the closet both needed to have sync thing updated. So the reason I do that is so I save my actual save games get updated remotely with sync thing. So I make backups with Ludosavi, very fun tool, and I keep it in sync with sync thing. So certain configurations, certain files, etc. I exchange between devices constantly, and if there's an update, it gets updated. It goes to a server, so I can swap between operating systems, or one can be down. It'll check its last thing into the server with consistency.
FBI in a coordinated law enforcement effort.
They don't vet any of these people?
Was
Yeah.
paroled into the U.S. in September of 2022. He had been admitted as a lawful permanent resident. Also,
why? Why do we have
Lost
a random
Sinner.
person from?
We need to do Lost Sinner at Bonfire Aesthetic up 1. So we leveled the area up. Let me check that it actually is, because that's what we need. And if that's the case, we're good.
Afghanistan in America. What? Why is this even happening?
Move my mouse.
President
This
Trump
is
called
crazy.
for a reform of the country's immigration vetting process
Yep,
following the attack on the National Guard troops on Wednesday, which
Allies
involved
welcome.
a suspect who was also paroled into the U.S. under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome program.
Look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane.
That's a lot of people in an airplane.
Now, DHS says about 85,000 Afghans settled into the U.S. under Biden's Welcome Allies program. Sean Van Dry.
Hold on. I just need to see. I just have to look. Full screenify yourself, brother. Come on. You are trying so hard and you just can't. It's cute that you tried. It's lame that you failed.
Look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane.
That's a lot of people.
It looks like when the Muslim countries would sell slaves to the United States and would pack them on top of each other inside of fucking boats. You're welcome for your transatlantic slave trade reminder.
In an airplane.
Now, my ancestors freed the slaves, so not all of them, of fucking course. My ancestors at least freed the slaves, so I'm just chilling, bro. Some days, though, it does have you wonder if that is maybe what we should have done instead was requisition enough fucking Barnum animal crackers in the past that present me would be, like, remarkably happy. I think maybe that would have been the more winning move, personally. But then again, I'm just selfish for those Barnums. Holy shit, when you get nervous and you just thrust extra.
DHS says about 85,000 Afghans settled into the U.S. under Biden's Welcome Allies program. Sean Van Driver, the president of Afghan EVAC, says vetting was conducted, but again, a review of the vetting process will take place. Now, as for the suspect in...
Obviously not.
Got it.
And even if it was vetted, apparently it didn't work. So either you didn't do it or you're bad. Which one is it?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B, probably.
ICE has lodged a detainee on him, and he was charged at the state level with making a terroristic threat. Kevin?
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
Yeah, and they vetted dirt. Yeah, I guess so. And it's just crazy. Crazy how this shit happens. And apparently it's going to, I think it's probably going to get worse. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Make sure I turned it up.
Yes,
the magnitude of the
here we go.
an Afghan national was arrested in Texas just a day before.
Oh fuck! New game is when they spawn their 2 little henchmen. Mother of fucking piss! I probably want better fire resistance at the start of this. Wait, is it new game or new game plus plusy? How many fucking bonfire aesthetics? Nope, they have henchmen. These dudes are here. They have henchmen. Yep. I can't kill them before, right? Because if I could just walk up there and kill them, I'd like to think that I would have done this already. Hold on. How do I want to run this? Fire res for sure. There are 2 pyromancers that are gonna rebuff me constantly. I'll take your penal skirt, thank you. I'll go with some free poison, thank you. Fuck no. Yeah, fuck it. What's our current weight? 28, that's pretty bad. That is pretty fucking bad. Okay, Ring of the Embedded. 26, that is not much better. Oh my gosh, golly gee willikers, bro. Okay, we'll do it. It seems fine. Seems totally fine. Killing Estes for now. Those take too long.
Before the National Guard shooting in Washington,
I don't think killing this one fixes
DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the suspect also reportedly let in under the Biden administration, posted a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt
just self-snitching. Like, it's crazy.
Posting, quote,
I like when people do that. No, I love when people tell on themselves. I just kind of wish that it would like, they get to telling on themselves, then it stops. Would be nice. Wait, I have a key to this? Bro, are you fucking... The fuck does this... When the fuck... Bro, I played a whole nother cycle on a whole different save, and I did not even know that I was that cool that I could open this hole. I didn't know that was the key for this. Bro, that is bananas. Bro, that is straight up nanners, bro. Like, bro. Holy fucking Godiva chocolate, bro. Holy fuck. Lol. I see your hole. You fucking holier than thou goober. Alright, let's go fuck up their mom. GG.
Of the national security crisis, Joe Biden unleashed on our country over the span of 4 years cannot be overstated.
How many views, though?
President Trump has directed his entire team to continue rooting out this evil within our borders. Our next guest is a U.S. Marine veteran who helped lead rescue missions during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Chad Robichaux.
6 months ago, another Afghan shot people over.
Thank you so much for your service.
Yeah.
But also thank you for joining us this morning on this incredibly important
story. We see the OG
story.
video? I don't think they have it.
You know, you did several deployments to Afghanistan. You fought alongside a lot of these Afghanis. And I think you probably supported helping some of them get out of Afghanistan during that disastrous withdrawal. What were the problems you recognized at the time with letting 80,000 Afghani nationals into the United States?
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I said,
why would we need 80?
I should have sent the elevator back up. That was pretty ignorant.
80,000 people from Afghanistan.
Fuck.
Really? Why would we? Why is this even on the table? Why the fuck would this even be discussed?
That's all we care about, the elevator.
It's crazy.
On Fox News at that time, I said this in my book that I wrote 4 years ago. When the NGOs were doing the evacuations, we were evacuating people out of Afghanistan, not bringing people to America. In fact, no NGO, no individual has the ability and authority to bring someone to America. The only people that does is the United States government. And during the time of evacuations, we were watching the U.S. military, forced by Joe Biden. I have to give credit. Our service members did an amazing job there. But forced by the White House.
They're just following orders.
Unvetted, undocumented Afghans on planes and fly them straight to the United States and let them loose in the interior of the country. 80 to 100,000 of them. And when that happened, I knew immediately, I mean, it can't go well. Eventually, one of them has to be a bad guy and is going to do an attack on the United States, and this would happen. I mean, that is one scenario. We also have the border that was open every single day. Our country has been just overrun by we don't know who. And this should be no surprise to anyone.
It's crazy how something like this could happen. I hear 100K. That was the top analysis or assumption. I don't know.
One of the points.
See, those are illegal orders to bring enemies directly into the U.S. I feel like a lot of the people aren't enemies. Like, I'm sure a lot of the Afghanistan people are probably fine. But the reality is that the answer to the amount of them that should have been brought in is zero.
And that's
because you're bringing these people in, and even if some of them cause problems, those are still problems that you have voluntarily forced everybody else into for no reason.
Points that I think that you have made is the fact that some of these guys were vetted, but they were vetted to become contract workers for the CIA, not vetted to come and live in suburban America.
Yeah, look, I worked in
that's not the video, right?
For 14 years. When I was in Afghanistan, I was a DoD contractor on a JSOC task force.
Oh, he's being labeled as white.
CIA-trained Afghans working with us. We had JSOC-trained Afghans working with us. we vetted them to work for us as combatants.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference when the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
They're great to work in, and it doesn't mean they wouldn't eventually be a good American, but
they probably would, maybe, but maybe not. And like at the end of the day, if you're bringing in something like, let's say you bring in 100,000 people and 1% of them cause problems. Well, you've just introduced 1,000 problems into the country, and you've got to ask yourself, why are you even doing that? Like, when did we decide that we need a bunch of people from Afghanistan to come into America? Like, who? Like, the entire premise of this is just mind-boggling to me. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Criteria of them working as a combatant doesn't qualify them.
There's no way that the fucking longsword is going to compensate for could keep up for the compensatory measure of the broadsword. The broadsword is babe. The broadsword is a bastard. The broadsword is beautiful. I mean, it is pretty fucking cool. I will give it that. It is definitely pretty fucking cool. We'll switch now. We'll deal with the ramifications later.
To great in our society. There's a separate process for that, and that's the State Department's responsibility to do that. That's
it's humane. Some were informants. Who cares? Why would? So now we have to endanger Americans?
I mean, like, I hate to bring back the old fucking vegan talking point of humane isn't always, but even in this case, humane isn't always. Like, it's a nice word to use, but how is it humane to like push the buck of now some folks did get in that were trying to cause harm? Okay, so to those who weren't, how is it humane to them? It's carelessness. No, it's just carelessness. It's a very blasé approach, and it's carelessness. The humane thing to do would have been caution and patience enough so that folks don't have to be like sent in large droves back. But that, or to instantiate better systems so we didn't have to pull people. Those would be humane options, because the end result of it is you detract from the economy in Afghanistan greatly, and you leave them fucked, and you just have people in the States. So in no way is it humane, it's just simple, and it's unplanned. That's all.
Kins for that? Nope.
I was toggling my pause play button.
People like my interpreter Aziz out of Afghanistan. He had to go to UAE and wait 9 months for the State Department to do their due diligence process to make sure they were safe to come to America.
It's not even
it's been a while. I forgot how to deal with this bastard.
Yeah, you raise a really important point, because even if they were good, loyal friends and soldiers there, the cultural differences are extraordinary. And you have two problems. One is the fact that maybe they have prior ideations about America. Yeah. But the other thing is just the cultural shock of coming here. We don't know, maybe coming here and the duress of being here for years, feeling out of place, the cultural shock could also turn somebody against the United States.
Well, I mean,
we made promises, we break promises, people won't work with us.
Overcommit,
maybe we shouldn't work with them either. Maybe we shouldn't be in Afghanistan to begin with. Like, why are we even in Afghanistan anyway? Like, at a certain point, you have to stop making mistakes. Like, it was a mistake to be there. It was a mistake to promise them that. And at a certain point, are you going to continue committing yourself to a cascade of mistakes that is going to have infinite problems that it will lead to in the future? Or are you going to stop making the mistakes and say, yeah, maybe this isn't the right call, but it's for the best interest of more people? It's an easy decision. Very easy decision.
Not a lot of people are saying this, and it can't be overlooked. If you're an Afghan and you gave 10 years of your life to fight alongside the Americans, and now the rug was pulled underneath you, we abandoned our allies there. We left.
Well, we're abandoning them now because we didn't vet them appropriately. Everyone.
Place in the globe, Afghanistan, between Iraq, Iran, Russia, and China, for the Taliban to take over their women, their children. So
after
maybe
20 years,
and I'm certainly not giving an excuse for an Afghan that's here in America, but maybe they're here. They feel so betrayed by what the Biden administration did. They're back here.
You don't understand why I do it? No, I mean, like, me not agreeing with one thing. You're saying you don't understand it. 80,000 of them are not all cooperators. Like, we really think 80,000 of these people, every single one of them was somebody who was cooperating? No.
And if that were the case, why pilfer them from Afghanistan's economy instead of enrich it with them? Also that really big thing right there. Also that immutable thing that needs to be fucking considered. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Too far. I got 2 chains. No, I just have 1 fall.
I'm an Uber because that's the only job they could get. Meanwhile, their mom and their sister's back getting
just use some logic for like 3 seconds.
There's the Biden administration set up a very good scenario to be hated by these people.
Exactly.
And it's certainly an excuse, but it's a reality that we have to recognize.
Yeah, without a doubt. It is not any excuse whatsoever, but it does remind us all that these were all stupid mistakes that could have been foreseen and avoided if they had listened to people like you.
As long as
so
it
we
moves
appreciate
crazy.
that, Chad Robichaux. Thank you.
I just want it to move. I don't care if I live through that.
Again, for your service.
I'll be patient with it.
And Die Hard is a Christmas movie, by the way.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I didn't expect that. All right. Well,
wait, doesn't literally everyone know that Die Hard's a Christmas movie? Die Hard with a Vengeance, we can question. But Die Hard, the firsty one, no, it definitely is a Christmas movie. Anyone that denies that's fucking, like, clearly just been doing too much jankum. They should reevaluate their life as a person.
Well, as Iraq are helping translators save my ass and at least 22 others? Yeah, no doubt. But, like, I mean, we're not talking about 22,000 people, 20 people. Like, that's one thing, right? But we're talking about 80,000 people that are getting all invited in. There's no fucking way that all of them were informants and fucking translators. Like, what are we doing talking about this? It's obvious that's not what happened. And also, like, I mean, again, if you're bringing in and putting American lives in danger, and in order to, like, in order to gain a foothold in Afghanistan, basically, like, here's the question, right? In order to have some sort of influence in Afghanistan, you have to indirectly put American lives in danger. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to try to gain an influence in Afghanistan. Families as well? Okay, so now it's going to be more and more and more people. Like, holy fuck, absolutely not. Like, and
I like the analyst's take because it is a concern, right? Because they got brought here and they apparently are just being forced to menial labor. Their families are at risk to the same shit that the United States government wanted to avoid. Like, if their fucking relatives, if their loved ones, if those that they care about and cherish most are being sexually assaulted by people who think that that's any way near close to fucking not reprehensible, that's just a major letdown. So you pilfered people from Afghanistan's economy, you entirely leave their families unprotected and without resource. Like, for fuck's sake, we all even know what happens when people flee North Korea, is their families are often punished for their fucking action. And again, to everyone who has, like, fucking heart goes out to you. But, like, typically when you have unstable situations, you have people that are willing to evoke violence in the maintenance of the situation that they think they would like. Fuck me.
Oh, wow. Well, this is going to prevent us from having another war in Afghanistan in the future. Good. Thank God. Maybe it'll stop.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna be on long today because I am like, I paused this knowing I wanted to do it with y'all. I just could not finish it without y'all. There is no fucking way. It's gonna wait a little bit. I ended up bumping into this person's like short form content and thinking it was pretty dope. Like, I'm a pretty simple Brad.
Guys, she went to the thrift store today. Let's look at what I got. All right. I'm gonna sit on the floor in my kitchen to show y'all. Oh, hi, Hennessy.
Hey, Hennessy. Hennessy's a beautiful girl. Look at that beautiful pup.
All right, the haul.
Show.
They had a 50%
like
off
thrift.
sale at Thrift, so you know I was there bright and early in the morning.
Damn right.
This is everything I got.
Nice frames.
And I only spent $30.
As
Let's
you
take
should.
a peek, see.
More than 20 is
I'm
kind of
super
pushing it,
excited
but you know,
about
whatever.
These are New York Laundry, Denim, and Co. And they're like these little maroon pants. I literally paid $2 for these.
Based. Good pants. Good pants. Like to see them.
I got a couple pairs of pants.
Show.
Because it's getting cold outside. I found these Ralph Lauren jeans. Super excited to try these on.
Those look fucking cool.
They're just black, like...
Mm-hmm. I like good flared, but that's fine.
They were like $8.
Fucking
with
sick.
the 50% off, so it's pretty good. So excited about this pair of pants. When I found
That
it.
is fucking dope. Oh!
Shut up. They're pink. They're corduroy. Literally my favorite. And when I found them,
Bro.
they still have their tag, like their brand new tag.
As it happens to be a lot.
They're brand new pants.
A lot of times it'll be that way.
It says that they were originally $89.50.
Uh-huh.
Instead at the thrift store, I paid $4 for them.
Well, a lot of shit that I'll get at the thrift store comes out to, like, honestly, I've paid like $2 per article of clothing before, and sometimes you'd get like articles of clothing that were worth $100. Barely been worn, if at all. Wash very clean, wash very well when you get home.
So excited. Oh, I got this t-shirt. It's just like a normal little black baby tee.
Yeah, that's pretty dope,
The
though.
essentials. I got this black dress. It's kind of long. It's like a slip dress. This was like $3.
Always have a comfy black dress.
And the last
Never
thing
get
that I
caught
got
out with
for
that one.
myself is I got myself this like maxi skirt. That's pretty cute.
Fucking dope.
I don't know how I feel about like the front of it, but it was in the skirt section.
The
but
front
I'm
bothers
starting
me.
to
You can
think
fix
this
that.
is a shirt. That looks like boobies, right? Like,
yes, it does look like boobies.
I'm gonna wear it.
Is it a
as
midi
skirt.
dress? The fuck? Okay, cool. That's legit. You can do a lot with a fucking maxi, though. You can, like, do it whatever you want. You can do a lot of shit in general.
Skirt section.
Yes,
and now
it was.
I'm gonna take all these bad boys and I'm gonna put them in the wash because the last time that I got clothes from a thrift store and I wore it without washing it, I got ringworm.
Oof. Let's be honest. Like, first off, wash your shit. Secondly, a lot of people can't tell the difference between a dress and a skirt. Like, also, sometimes I'll just be, like, quickly moving and I'll misspeak.
So PSA, wash your thrift finds.
Always. I'm a big fan of that borax in the wash, too, personally. I'm a very big fan of a little borax in that wash. Keep yourself alive. It takes time, but it's worth it. It takes time, but, like, honestly, just don't try it on. Like, if you want to, just, like, wash it first, try it on, and then take it back? Really? I guess? That's fine. That's less fucking caustic. That's less scary. 64 beats Elden Ring. That looks cool. Ooh, speedrunners just broke Pokemon Ruby? Oh. Okay, before that, though. We have a break for shorts.
Corsets, no thanks. I prefer breathing. Alright, I'll consider marrying if you can beat me in a race. There and back, go! I can so read. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't. I'll prove it. Why must I be tortured by women's fashion? One cannot wrestle in a prison for stress. Let's play some cricket. I'm going to come on your poor male ego, Jonathan. Watch. Come on, cricket. Cricket it is. Ah! Sorry, Reverend. That might hurt in the morning. I have no taste for flowers, Lord Brunswick, so if you intend to win my heart, I suggest that you try other methods of persuasion. No, please don't make me play the pianoforte. I play very poorly, to be sure. Very, very poorly. Oh, how about some badminton? I'm really good at badminton. I know you're thinking, how on earth could I reject your proposition of marriage? But you can be sure, sir, that I am. I don't plan on marrying you or any man. Good day, sir. Please don't make me play. Please don't make me play. Please, okay. No, Mother, I will not marry him. Or
GoPro's based.
No.
Oh my fucking piss. Easy sub, easy follow, easy win, absolutely fucking win. Absolutely fucking winning. Bro. Brosif. How to fake a British accent to score a boyfriend. Everyone knows how to do that. It's just that you have to like, it's not worth it because then you're stuck keeping it up to maintain the boyfriend. And that's just like not worth it. Like you want to like get somebody who likes you for your effortlessly lazy version of you. Because then that way you don't have to do anything or apply any effort to just wake up in the morning and be badass as fuck. And it's like a super time saver.
Okay. Peppa Pig, who would have believed? Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig, what I said earlier on. Peppa Pig world. Peppa Pig has very safe streets. Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig world is very much my kind of place.
Input.
Yesterday I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig world. And if you've been to Peppa Pig world, who's been to Hands Up, who's been to Peppa Pig world?
I need to move the elevator.
I'm surprised you haven't been there. To Peppa Pig world. I think I tried to laboriously explain again. This is very much my kind of place. Fate has handed us an opportunity to do that. It is a moral mission. I think that is pure genius. Get on a plane and light up a cigar. Forgive me. Forgive me. Right. Okay. Peppa Pig. Who would have believed? Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig. What I said earlier on. Peppa Pig world. Peppa Pig has very safe streets. Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig world is very much my kind of place. I was there in the Peppa Pig world. Don't forget, folks, I've had some pretty wonderful jobs in Peppa Pig world. Well, look at us now. Peppa Pig world is very much my kind of place. Heavy emphasis on new mass transit systems, I noticed. Who would have believed that a pig that looks like a hairdryer, or possibly a sort of pig like hairdryer, would now be exported to 180 countries with theme parks both in America and in China. Right. Okay. Peppa Pig. Who would have believed? Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig. What I said earlier on. Peppa Pig world. Peppa Pig has very safe streets. Peppa Pig world is better. Peppa Pig world is very much my kind of place.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Woo!
Sorry, I had to do something that is more important than streaming. I had to say hello to someone and ask how they were doing. It is more important than streaming, I tell you what. What now? I'm just typing it manually. I'd probably just use my automation to do it, but it takes up my clipboard for so long at the moment that I just don't want to. I need to clearly optimize it and have less problems, and I'll do that soon. Give me a teeny second. I need to go check on my tests for my little bitty fucking cold thingy doodle. Okay, cool beans. Hold on. Okay, starting a test suite again. Things should be a little less shit. We'll see. We'll see. My double sure, triple sure, quadruple sure.
The Pokemon games are notoriously broken.
We're running it like appropriate get-ops.
There are overwhelming numbers of graphical and rendering bugs, as I'm sure you've seen the windmills with a frame rate lower than the one in Kakariko Village on the N64. And if we go back to the first 3 generations, we see some very broken glitches. I'm sure everyone remembers learning how to duplicate items from another kid on the playground by encountering Missing No, or that you could clone Pokemon by turning the game off while saving at the storage system. However, the speedruns use an entirely different set of broken glitches. For instance, using a glitch where you trigger a wild Pokemon battle the same time you lock eyes with a trainer, then dying to that Pokemon, the game gets into a very weird state so that when you go back into Viridian Forest, you get warped to Professor Oak, who plays the credits after speaking to him, beating the game in just over 10 minutes. Even crazier, by using save corruption, where you corrupt and edit your save file, you can beat the game in just over 1 minute, with a similar save corruption being used in Generation 2 to beat the game in under 8 minutes. It's obvious that these games were held together by duct tape, and you'd think that by Generation 3, Game Freak would have gotten their act together. But that couldn't be further from the truth. From walking on water to freezing the game with the acro bike and a host of battle glitches, Gen 3 was also very broken. However, the glitches had very few applications in the speedrun. That is, until now. Recently, a previously known glitch involving the mail system that was determined to be useless for speedrunning was reinvestigated, and the results were the most broken glitch in Ruby and Sapphire history. In today's video, we're going to see how this was discovered, look at the different routes created with it, see how stealing trainer Pokemon became a part of the speedrun, and ultimately see how low these new discoveries brought the record. Remember the guards in Gen 1 that wanted a drink? Maybe they wouldn't have been so thirsty if they had this video's sponsor, G Fuel. G Fuel is an energy drink company with a ton of different flavors and beverages, and they're all packed
Okay, I'm so glad they died on contact. I was a little concerned they were about to just like give me a brush with death that I couldn't deal with. Let's just burn through them, fuck it. Fuck it, let's go. On its way back? That it is. I was thinking if I wanted an armor set for this, I'll decide at the door. I was trying to trigger them closer. Titties. Is it really just stay at the middle for the best luck?
Then later, another mail glitch was used to duplicate rare candies to level it up to 67. But while this route did use glitches, it took so much time duplicating the rare candies, then feeding them to a Pokemon, that it was only about 8 minutes faster than doing the speedrun without them. We'll get into how the mail glitch works later. For now, all you need to know is that lots of weird things can happen if you steal mail from a Pokemon in battle, then send it to the PC. However, there was one player that knew the mail glitch had the potential to be much more broken than it appeared to be, and Metrich was determined to break the game with it just like it had been done in Fire Red and Leaf Green. While looking at the game's code, he realized something. The mail item has 2 callback functions after it in memory.
Maybe just one would be
He
fine.
thought that by exploiting this code, he could make headway on creating a credits warp for the speedrun. However, while looking at the mail item's code, he noticed something else. When a mail is in the PC, it has a lot of useless data after it. In this case, he wanted to take a glitched mail and fill it with specific data so that when it overflows into the useless data, some very complicated black magic happens that causes the data to be executed as a credits warp. This is easier said than done, however, and the first method he came up with was by exploiting the contest event. The steps to achieve this version of the credits warp are exceptionally technical, even for my channel, so we don't need to know everything, but it has 2 key elements, a specific trainer ID and winning a contest. The value of the trainer ID determines some events in the game, such as which old man will be in Mauville City, and if you get the trader or storyteller old man, this glitch will fail, as the data won't be configured properly for the exploit we're going to do.
How are you?
As for the contest, we won't get into the details because they are very complicated, but the Spark Notes summary is that winning a contest adds some extra data to your Pokemon so that when the mail glitch is activated, parts of the data attached to the mail overflow into the useless data after it on the PC and trigger a credits warp. This route wasn't particularly fast, and after it came 2 different Spinda routes. The first still used contests and was relatively short-lived, but the second was considerably faster, clocking in just over an hour, and instead of using the contest, it set up the data using a specifically patterned Spinda and the trend mechanic. The trend mechanic takes 2 words the user inputs to an NPC in Dewford Town, then checks their trendiness value, and if they have a value higher than the current trend, that word will be adopted and start being used by NPCs. But there's one issue. The value they're assigned is completely random, and this route requires you to play for an hour just to roll the dice.
I had to bonfire aesthetic this person so I can get a flame weapon, which I can't use yet. I just want it for later. It's for later things. We don't need it. And so I'm kind of just like killing time here, I guess. It's like not really progress. It's just kind of like I want to collect it. So that's all.
On getting the correct value. This brings us to Spinda, which needs a specific pattern so we know it has the correct stats. However, Spinda's pattern is random, but by doing a save and quit, then taking some specific actions, you can guarantee you'll get the frame that has the perfect Spinda for the glitch. After this, a lot of black magic takes place. By setting up the mail glitch and having a specific trainer ID combined with the correct trend and Spinda, when you look at the Spinda in the Pokédex, the game will crash. This is actually part of the route, as you've now put a glitched Pokemon into your inventory that has a way to execute a credits warp built into its code. All you need to do is move it between boxes. But first, it needs the credits warp code to execute. So, by writing certain characters to box names, when we switch the glitched Pokemon around, the game then reads the box names as instructions to warp to the credits.
We're gonna just take their outfit, I guess.
Yes! I think
we've given ourselves the most difficult time at losing.
Yay!
So when I die, I need to be mocked.
Go. Spinda, hurry up.
Ow.
Yes! Oh. Let's go. 59.49.
This route was good, but it wasn't super fast since it still required getting 3 badges.
It's about to beep.
So,
I can't
Metrich
pause.
decided to do something even crazier. He was going to corrupt the game so you could catch another trainer's Pokemon, then use that Pokemon to do the credits warp with. Normally, this isn't possible, as the trainer will swat away the Pokeball when you throw it, and even if you did catch a trainer's Pokemon, there's a
That didn't help my budding migraine that I think is actually a migraine finally after trying to refute this thought for hours. Nor did the falling thing after.
Another problem. Since trainer Pokemon have a different trainer ID than the players, they are almost always broken, glitched messes. However, under rare cases where the trainer ID is similar enough to the players, the Pokemon you stole would only have glitched species data. And it just so happens that this data was messed up in just the right way that it could be used with the mail glitch and perform a credits warp. The trainer stealing route has a lot of advantages over the Spinda route. While it still required having a specific trainer ID and manipulating the starter Pokemon, which we'll talk about in a second, the data from the stolen Pokemon combined with some black magic made it so that players could skip getting the 3rd badge. Unfortunately, no footage exists of the 2-badge route, as it was relatively short-lived, because through further research, Metrich found a way to skip getting the 2nd badge, requiring only a single gym battle. This route was very fast, but it had 2 major problems. First, there was a frame-perfect trick at the very end to ensure you got the specific glitched Pokemon. And second, you had to manipulate that Pokemon while it was under the other trainer's control so that it had a specific PP value for its moves, as the PP value plays a key role in the data being correct. Additionally, you're required to wait almost 2 minutes to start the encounter with the trainer you're stealing from to guarantee you get the correct glitched Pokemon. And on that point, making sure the Machop has the correct PP takes a lot of time, with about 6 entire minutes being spent during this setup. What's crazy about this route is that if you look at where the trainer Pokemon is stolen, you can see the game starts to break down almost immediately. But luckily, it holds together just long enough that the credits warp can be completed, with Blue Magma setting the first sub-hour world record with the route.
Yes, dude! Hell yeah. That's Zubat. Zubat is not even part of the route. Yes, dude. Oh, that's nice. It's nice to hit it first try, finally.
This was the coolest and fastest route to date, and speedrunner Doonwacky was doing attempts where he didn't manipulate his starting Trico, and when he got to the end of the run, this happened. Metrich looked into what was causing the crash and found that the data from Doonwacky's unmanipulated Trico was the culprit. And when investigating this, he realized something. There was another way to do the credits warp. So he went back to the drawing board, and what he came up with was even faster than the forbidden jutsu we just looked at. This is the current fastest route, so we'll be going through it piece by piece, and the very first things runners have to do is manipulate their trainer ID. The trainer ID is set on the frame you confirm the final dialog box of the intro. So by using a timer that starts when the game boots up, you can use audio cues it plays to help confirm the input on the frame needed for the specific trainer ID, which is 09281 in this case. In addition to this, you also need to name yourself the maximum number of characters, as this helps align the data for the credits warp. Then you can start playing the game. The first few minutes are just text mashing, but not long after this, the first trick is a precise manipulation to get a Trico with specific stats. The reason for this is so the Trico can two-hit the upcoming encounter, and to do this, you need to confirm the Trico on a specific frame. So runners use a save and quit to reset their RNG just before the fight with the Puccina, then use the timer one more time to help align their input on the frame needed. If everything is performed correctly, you'll get a Trico with the adamant nature and 19 HP, with it dispatching the Puccina in 2 pounds. However, the manipulations aren't done yet. They're just getting started. After talking to Professor Birch, you're sent on your way to find the rival and have a battle, but there's a lot of tall grass you're forced to walk through. Luckily, there's another manipulation, as Mockwing created a step route that can get you to the rival without triggering a wild Pokemon battle, because the RNG in Generation 3 has a fatal flaw. Once the battery in the game pack is dead, the RNG seed will always be the same, so by resetting, you'll always know what your starting RNG is. Since the last reset took place about a minute ago, and it's mostly text mashing outside of the battle, you generally know when you'll be getting outside of the lab. And since the NPC movement is tied to the RNG seed, by looking at where the NPCs are facing, you can know what RNG seed you're on. Once you know that, you can then take steps on a specific path that will have you get 0 encounters on that particular RNG seed. However, the rival encounter itself isn't manipulated, because it's harder to be precise when navigating menus, as you can't buffer your actions like you can in the overworld, so you queue up Pound and hope it kills in as few hits as possible. After this, you're off to the first gym, pounding your way through trainers as you go. And remember how I just said that manipulating battles is hard? Well, for Roxanne, we're going to do just that. Battles are hard to manipulate for 2 reasons. First, you need to clear text and confirm moves frame perfectly. And second, RNG moves twice as fast while in battle, which means you'll always be on an odd or even numbered frame depending on when you start the fight. And even with a save and quit, it's still tricky to time this perfectly. For the Roxanne fight, odd frames are what you want to be on, since odd frames have all of the best outcomes. And luckily, if we start on an even frame, there is a way to switch to odd, as multi-hit moves take time to calculate how many times they will hit, and this calculation time can change your frame from odd to even or even to odd. So, if the fight starts on an even frame, you can easily get to an odd one. There are lots of different outcomes depending on if your frames are odd or even, and these outcomes break down further based on if your inputs are early, on time, or late.
Come on time.
So, this fight is very complex and aggravating to do correct, even for experienced runners using Flow Timer. But, once you're through it, there's only one manipulation left. Abra. Like everything else, a save and quit followed by specific actions guarantees that Abra will be caught. But why is it important? Abra can learn Thief, which is the key to making this entire glitch work, because next we're going into a double battle.
They all walked off the side.
But before that, we're going to equip
Only one can get up here.
9 males to Abra, then equip a 10 to Trico. We've talked a lot about the male glitch, and it's finally time to see how it works. When a male is removed, it's sent to the PC, but the PC only has 10 slots to hold male. Okay, so no problem, right? Since we only sent 9 males to the PC. Well, no problem yet, because what we do next is going to make a major problem. In the doubles battle, we'll have Abra target Trico with Thief to steal a male from it, which is an issue, because when a Pokemon without male steals one in battle, it then acquires the male item, but the game never sees it as having been given a mail. So, if you take this mail from Abra, you get a glitched mail in the 10th slot of the box. Because the glitched mail is in the final spot, the extra data we specifically modified has nowhere to go except beyond the bounds of the mail list, and it starts overwriting other things in memory. And to activate this glitched mail with a built-in credits warp, all you need to do is go to the mail and read it. However, there's one more step before that. The payload we wrote isn't quite enough on its own to warp to the credits, so by renaming some boxes that the game is going to read as more data when we activate the glitched mail, the game is fully primed for us to beat it with only a single badge, with Blue Magma achieving the first sub 30-minute time on August 14th.
Yes! Nice. Let's go. It's not a sub 29, but it's sub 30.
Is it sub 30?
Yeah. It's almost 29.
Since then, Chippy Toothy has lowered the record to a sub 28, and I must say that while the trainer stealing method wasn't the fastest, it's still my favorite way that a Pokemon game has been broken. Thanks to Blue Magma and Metrich for help with this video, and I hope to see you in the next exciting episode of Abysssoft Z.
Hi. I'm allowed to get excited over this. Teen realized he murdered a kid during an acid trip. Oh my fuck no. Not today, please. Please not today. Please not today, my dude. Please not to fucking day. This looks like it'll be fun. But, you know. Meh. 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 I've been putting this off for a while. It's a maybe-haps. It's in the thing now, so I mean, it's more likely than not. You don't have much time left.
A TikTok?
Okay, now I'm way too fucking curious, and, like, I've just been, like, off-put because of the thumbnail, which is kind of a weak way to go out, isn't it? We started with a Dark Souls way to break... Oh, so there's a, like, cool news Dark Souls tech. There's a way to, like, not store the defeating... or to not trigger the credits. And to instead just kind of slide on by. And I think that is, like, so epically dope. I don't know. It's epic. It's dope. I like it. It's pretty fucking cool. New Dark Souls tech just dropped. As in remastered edition just dropped. Mind you, I just reinstalled it and went with like recovering my old save data and plopping it on sync thing so I can have it shared between my computer, my desktop, my Steam Deck on both Windows and Bazite, as well as like I did the thing. I did the thing, okay? I did the thing. I was glad to do the thing. The thing was very fun. Owie, I like doing the thing. Here, let's make this bigger for a sec.
After a girl begged for help, saying her parents forced her to live in a dangerous home. And the consensus was simple. Someone call CPS. She said she needed help to escape an abusive household, one she described as a biohazard, saying, "My lungs hurt and it hurts to cough. I have watery eyes constantly and headaches never go away." In fact, her father recently died of lung cancer, which she believes was worsened by the condition of her home. But then comes the question everyone was asking, why isn't she leaving? People began spotting red flags in her videos. Her comments started filling with suspicion. "I know you're lying. I'm starting to get suspicious." She deleted one of my comments. And yet, looking at the videos, there's no way someone could have faked something this intense. So what's really happening? This story got darker than anyone could have imagined. It all started on June 28th, 2025. When Pomni24, also known as Alyssa, claimed she'd be homeless soon because her parents won't clean the house, and that she couldn't afford to simply leave because her parents don't let her get a job. Over the next few months, Alyssa began sharing evidence of just how bad her housing situation became. A bathroom with an unflushed toilet that's stained and has bugs flying around it. The surrounding floor and walls covered in filth. Next to it, a dirty shower with stained floors and walls, and moldy shower curtains with bugs clinging to it.
All this like gunky, mildewy water stuff is always just left right here on the sink and counter. Nobody wipes it. It just builds up here over time.
Another bathroom that's moldy everywhere. A dirty kitchen with bugs on the wall, on the counter, in the sink, in the pantry, and in the food. Dirty kitchenware laying around. Grime on furniture, walls, and appliances. Garbage bags piling up on the floors. A dirty fridge filled with expired food.
It's never cleaned out. This food has been in here for a super long time. She won't let me clean it out because it's all of her food, but there's nothing I can do about that, so.
Items and garbage laying around the living room. Her mother's room, filled with rotting food and hordes of items. A laundry basket infested with bugs. Pets itching from fleas and bugs, and their waste all over the floors, mainly the hallway. Some waste was spotted on the bed. A bird cage that's been left to rot, despite the bird no longer living there. Bugs hiding in unexpected places, like the microwave, the pet's food bowl, and in curtains. Mold, bugs, and bug waste all around the walls and furniture of the house, and holes in the ceiling. Alyssa also gave a glimpse into how she lived in these conditions, showing that she eats microwavable dinners, uses the stovetop to boil raw food, and has to sleep in a bedroom with bugs and mold. Most people were shocked, worrying for both her and her pets. Honey, you need to get out of there. I'd literally live in a tent outside. But some blamed the residents.
Well, that's not
Ain't
always
nobody been
possible for them, though. Like, it's really, I just continue to say it, like, impoverished situations, or is my favorite way to phrase it, rather. Because, like, dolphins can't really affect their environment. They're kind of just stuck with what you give them. They live in an impoverished situation, and children, no matter how much money their parents have, it still doesn't impact their ability to or to not impact their environment. So it's that not remarking on the whole home, right? Or the whole zoo. Zoos can have a fuckload of money. Elephants still can't get more engagement for their brains. Their kids might still grow up kind of having a hard fucking time for that. So, you know.
Too sick to flush a toilet? Many encouraged her to seek help. Have you tried calling 911 or CPS yet? Even law enforcement commented on her page, explaining this was child neglect. But Alyssa explained, CPS hasn't done anything. Her situation was so shocking, people began offering to help financially. By late June and early July, Alyssa started asking for $1 donations to fund a stay at a motel and for food. She asked that they be sent to her GoFundMe, Cash App, or Venmo, and also opened an Amazon wish list, which contained cleaning items and pet supplies. Her story only got more devastating as she revealed more details on her GoFundMe page. Alyssa said she personally owns one small tuxedo cat, but her family's 5 to 6 other animals were forced to breed for profit. She even claimed the animals were fed more than she was. She said her mother chose luxury items over food, fumigation, or medical care, and explained, whenever we clean the house, it always ends up dirtier more than before. Every day I'm spending money on cleaning products and hygiene, but it never really makes any type of difference because the rest of my family/parents always trash the house. Her father recently died of lung cancer, which she fears may have been worsened by the conditions of their home. Alyssa fears she may also be getting sick, describing her house as a biohazard that has caused her lungs to hurt and it hurts to cough. I have watery eyes constantly and headaches never go away. On top of this, she and her brother are forced to pay rent to live in their own home, or risk being kicked out at any moment. Alyssa also alleged both police and CPS haven't
this sounds like a cash bait? Depends.
Intervened because they're both alive with access to food and water. Finally, she explained that the GoFundMe donations would help them leave to a happier place, where she would bring herself, her brother, and all the animals. She ended the post with a message. As for the family who didn't want to help, they can stay and rot with the rest of the house, sadly, because we have tried everything. But would cash and basic cleaning supplies make a difference in a home in this condition? A professional exterminator explained her house
can't work because her mother doesn't let her, but also has to pay rent. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that someone, and I'm not saying this is the case, but it wouldn't be the first time someone was on disability but also couldn't take care of that aspect of the house. No, it does make sense. It's just, it doesn't make sense in a comfortable way. And I'm not saying that is the case, right? Like, I'm not saying for certain this is what's going on. I wouldn't be so ignorant and so silly. But it doesn't not make sense. It just didn't make sense to you like 2 seconds ago. There's a difference, that's all.
Was past the point of no return. And to get you and your siblings out of there ASAP, roaches can carry diseases and get you extremely sick, especially in those conditions. According to WebMD, roaches can contaminate your food and surfaces, causing food poisoning and infections, as well as spread germs and diseases such as
because under that one, like, okay, sorry, just for clarity, right? let's say a person's disabled and their parent still wants them to pay rent. That could be the easy outcome. Like what? They're just going into it. They're still young. That's not a lot that they give you. You have to like put time into the workforce first, or they don't really take care of you much.
Salmonella, and E. coli, to name a few. Despite this, Alyssa continued to stay and clean as donations poured in.
So right here I just started sweeping, of course. This is all poop, trash, disgusting stuff. Finally, we were able to clean the restroom. So this is how it looked before. It was really dirty. That's all roach poop and dirt and God knows what else.
A story like this completely pulls at your heartstrings. And with the TikTok videos as proof, what could possibly have so many people accuse her of lying? Are we really as gullible as some claim? Well, the classic telltale signs that something was off were happening. Comments were being deleted, and accounts were getting blocked. So let's go over every strange part of the story that people have flagged. Red flag number 1, unresponsive to professional help. Many people were leaving comments about a popular TikToker named Clean with B, who's known for offering free deep clean services in exchange for filming the process. Why are you purposely ignoring all the comments about Clean with B? She's been commenting on your videos and offering services, but they keep disappearing. Many of B's clients are in similar situations or worse, so it wasn't a question of whether B could clean her home, it was when she could fly out to help. With B's comments mysteriously disappearing, one commenter decided to upload screenshot proof directly to Alyssa's comment section. In it, B said, "Please someone tell her I'm more than happy to help if she wants me to. She just needs to apply for a clean." Alyssa replied, alleging she had no idea. Even when other people offered free help and their posts appeared near the top due to their high likes, Alyssa still did not respond. "I'd be happy to send a cleaning service and pest control your way. My family can help you figure out better and safer living arrangements." Which led people to question, are you just willingly denying help that doesn't add to your GoFundMe? However, Alyssa was liking comments such as these. It's not her house, so she can't just say, "Yeah, come over," seeming to imply she would need to get permission from her mom. Red flag number 2, inconsistent GoFundMe goals. Many people were leaving comments like these. It was first 20,000, then 38,000 that you were requesting, now 45,000? As you know, with the internet, these sort of things can get archived. We found proof for at least 4 increases. On August 5th, the GoFundMe goal was set at $12,000. On August 10th, the goal became $28,000. On August 14th, it changed to $40,000. Then, on September 10th, the goal bumped up to $50,000. Which brings us to red flag number 3, inconsistent storylines with money. Initially, many of Alyssa's earlier posts appeared to ask for rent money, such as these. "Even if it was for one night, I'd leave here and rent a motel ASAP." And surely even at $12,000, that would be a good start to crash at a motel while she and her brother look for jobs, right? Well, suddenly, motel money turned into property money. On August 6th and 10th, Alyssa was seen writing this. "It isn't enough to buy a new house. We're house hunting and live in LA. It's expensive and hard to find housing with the economy right now."
Should probably not be in Cali.
That their lifestyle would follow them into their new place. To which Alyssa responded, "I can guarantee that the infestation won't happen again after I move. Me and my brother are both clean freaks." And she explained the hoarding was mainly due to her mom, which worsened from her depression, her husband passing away, and allegedly another sibling that doesn't visit. Some didn't understand why Alyssa wasn't opting for a more immediate solution, like renting an apartment. The problem is, most landlords won't accept a lump sum of $40K as proof of stable monthly income, and if Alyssa is a minor, she wouldn't be able to get a job. So, it looks like she was trying to accumulate enough cash to buy an apartment or house outright. This would mean no lender, credit check, or income verification. But 40 to 50K can't buy a home in Covina. The cheapest property there is $84,500 for a mobile home, so this only led to more doubt that the money may have been going to something else. Then there was an unexpected medical bill on August 9th. Although Alyssa was not directly asking for help, she did post the news to her GoFundMe, which some believe was a tactic to garner more sympathy. "My mom had actually fell in the kitchen and broke her leg. We're assuming she slipped on pee. She told us she sneezed too hard and lost her balance. But honestly, it sounds like a lie. Due to her having diabetes and being old, her legs are extremely fragile, and she had to get surgery. Her leg was very close to being amputated because of this. But luckily, it wasn't. She's now in recovery in a hospital/senior living thing after all of this. In another update post on August 16th, Alyssa revealed her mom was doing better and would be coming home in a week. There has been no more update about her mom since. Yet, the GoFundMe goal increased to $50K about 3 weeks after this post, and people grew concerned. Some started to take back their donations. I disputed with my bank. Sorry, but excuse after excuse. No thank you. But Alyssa had a reason for this slow process, alleging, "I'm waiting for the whole GoFundMe thing to verify the large amount of money. I have not received anything yet." And while some people argued it's not our business what she does with the funds, others countered, if we're the ones paying for it, it 100% is our business. Fluctuating GoFundMe goals weren't the only inconsistent money issue. Red flag number 4, confusing home bills. In Alyssa's first post on TikTok, she stated, "They don't let me get a job." She reiterated this point in another post. "Mom won't let me get a job." But when her fundraiser was made, she claimed, "Our mother forces us to pay rent, and if we don't, we get kicked out." This didn't make sense to people. How do you pay rent to your parents without a job? How does she have a phone and internet but not any clean food? It's not clear where the rent money is coming from. Alyssa has not responded to any comments asking about it. She has even blocked people for asking. Money isn't the only thing people have found issues with. Red flag number 5. Inconsistent storyline about family. In Alyssa's earlier—
Sorry, the fucking red flag number 1 is totally something unrelated to this, but something that's just haunting my mind right now. I'm so very sorry. It is just stuck there. I do apologize.
Videos. She stated, "My mother has kept us in this condition. She will not clean or let anyone—
Red flag number 1. She's also a Twitch gamer, and she uploads videos to YouTube.
Else.
Sorry.
This makes it seem like Alyssa would be punished if she cleaned. Yet, in replies to commenters, Alyssa contradicts herself completely, writing, "I clean the house every day. I clean every day. I don't have control over anything except to clean. I do that every day." And when her mom was in the hospital, Alyssa posted cleaning videos.
I was scrubbing this freaking counter for like 4 hours, you guys. There was bugs everywhere. There was bugs in every box. This is me sweeping the rest of the trash I made. I did actually—
Sorry, I had to quickly remediate my little sync thing server. It was like not retaining that it, okay, so what had happened is the password broke on it, so I had to fix it.
I had to sit cleaning this, so if I sound a little sniffly, I'm sorry. And then this is the before, right here, and then this is the after. Not a huge difference, but definitely much better.
When a viewer asked if her mom would be upset about it, Alyssa said she might be a little mad, again contradicting her earlier posts, which implied her mom was controlling. Some had a theory. She's obviously part of the not wanting to clean problem. She's using napkins to clean instead of scrubbing. That's not the only thing about her mom. People also called out the GoFundMe photo of her mom's recovering leg. This ain't no hospital. An ACE wrap on their knee? First of all, ACE wraps aren't even used for fractures. I work in the ER. She should have some sort of brace on it. This is my stepmom, not diabetic, good bones, same body type like Alyssa's mom, and all my stepmom did was hurt her knee. And this is like 3 weeks ago, and can't remove what she has on her legs only to bathe, but has to stay on for at least 2 months.
Poor thing.
So why does her diabetic okay mom—
Because even if this isn't what, like, even if this is all bullshit to an extent, what matters is this is someone's actual leg while they're in a hard place.
with
That's why
fragile
I'm poor
bones
thinging.
only have that on her knee.
I'm broken.
The hospital floor also looked the same as the floors she had at home. People also called out Alyssa for repeatedly saying parents in her posts. Yet her GoFundMe mentioned her dad had died of cancer. She even responded to comments saying he passed 2 years ago. Here are just some of those contradictory posts she made during July. "I'm really struggling here, and my parents are very neglectful and don't care. My parents won't help us at all, and don't care for our well-being." And then there was Alyssa's confusing, vague references about people in her home. If mom's in the hospital and dad's dead, so it's just her and her brother, who is everybody else in the house that keeps making the mess? Here are just some of those posts. "Everyone here dirties everything and neglects the house. We aren't renovating/fixing the house and getting rid of the infestation because everyone else here still continues to trash it every day." Alyssa later revealed during her house tour video that they had a roommate, but never showed proof other than a door to their alleged room.
That room I can't go in because that's one of the roommates that we have. That's her room. I'm not allowed in there.
This only made the situation harder to believe. Is the roommate just leaving the trash piled up in the kitchen? Who poops that much in the house that it's not worth scrubbing a toilet? She also revealed she had 3 brothers total, but only 2 lived in the house with them.
Moving on to the living room, this is where my other brother sleeps, on that dirty black mattress where all the animals pee and poop.
Alyssa has also mentioned she and her brother she plans to move out with are clean freaks, so that could only mean the everyone she refers to as trashing the house would allegedly be her mother, her other brother, and her roommate. This next issue, however, made many people completely lose trust in Alyssa. Red flag number 6. Organizer mismatch. People have pointed out both the GoFundMe organizer and Cash App account links back to a man named Christopher Perez. Usually, GoFundMes that are opened by a third party disclose their connection to the person in need, but there was no mention of this on their fundraiser. And on different occasions, Alyssa gave out 2 Cash App names, one called GoreKitty8 and another tying back to Chris. Some speculate Chris could be Alyssa's brother, but others theorize it's a man pretending to be Alyssa. They even alleged there's a man named Christopher Perez who owns a cleaning company and could allegedly use footage from clients for fraud. However, it's hard to verify this because a lot of people share this name. A Chris Perez does show up as a pest control technician, but he does not reside in Covina, California, where the fundraiser is set to, so we can't be 100% sure. Some even alleged they witnessed her Instagram account username change from Ivan Carey to Pomni24. Once again, another man's name. If we go to her Instagram account to check the number of username changes, it does show there was one change, but IG doesn't share the specific name. On the other hand, some believe there is a woman behind the TikTok account, but they allege she's a part of the problem. She showed every room in the house except hers. Like, why would she leave that detail out? Why not show her room? Because maybe she is just as filthy as the rest of the home. And maybe the room won't look teenage-like because it's a whole adult living there. That's years of neglect from every able-bodied person living there. A few thought this was something even worse. A trap house. A place where illegal substance...
Sorry, I'm a little bit laughy, but don't take that as me laughing at this. This is like, I'm not laughing at their situation. I'm laughing because it's funny when you have to crash in one of those for a bit.
...are sold. It reeks of a trap house 1000%. Funny how suddenly mom now has a roommate whose room they can't show. This brings us to the next issue, red flag number 7, footage concerns. Some felt the TikTok videos may have been strategically edited. How all these posts contain the same clips repeatedly as if it's recorded by someone looking at one of those hoarding houses. Just to give you one example, Alyssa has reused this same toilet clip in at least 6 different videos. Some claim they have recorded by someone looking at one of those hoarding houses. Just to give you one example, Alyssa has reused this same toilet clip in at least 6 different videos. Some claim they have been blocked by Alyssa for pointing this out. And there are clips in different aspect ratios, seeming to suggest these may have been taken from a different device. There were also clips stitched in that didn't contain any filth or bugs, like this very clean bed with her cat, or her very infested kitchen countertops that seemed to magically clear in the next clip when she set her food on the counter, or her microwave that was full of bugs which suddenly disappeared in the next frame. However, it's possible these could be editing choices, and it's possible she may have wiped down the area before preparing food. But one thing still stands. In all footage, no person's face is ever shown. The most we ever see is this photo, which shows hair dangling from someone's head. And the only other person she's shown in videos is her alleged brother, which also has his identity concealed.
So first we started off by scrubbing the inside of the sink. I don't know why he's not wearing any gloves. He's crazy, I know. So I had to wear gloves, I had to wear a mask, I had to wear a lot of stuff. So this is just me.
Am I the only person that just looks at their Crocs as like a functional device and they don't really want to ever put the fancy little expensive as fuck little nodules inside of it? Is this just a me thing? I think this is just a me thing. I think everyone else is into consumerism and wants to spend money on shit that doesn't need money spent on it. I don't think I'm wild for this one. I'm pretty sure this is how people be doing.
My brother doing this for like 3 hours.
Since none of these clips show their faces, the footage could technically be anyone's. After all, it's easy to edit in a voiceover on anyone's video. Naturally, viewers urged Alyssa to show her face and to live stream her house to prove her situation, because there's still a chance that these videos could have been manipulated with AI to intensify the situation. While this may have been impossible a few years ago, AI is now capable of creating realistic videos like these. Several people pointed to a specific cooking video where she had a container of fruits and vegetables. At one point, the onions turn to pears, as evidenced here, and at another point goes from rotting to not rotted at all in a different frame, as evidenced here. Others were on the fence about the bugs, writing, "Sometimes the bugs in the vids look like AI, sometimes they don't. It's weird." In this specific clip, where the camera is moving around rapidly and zooming into bugs, it looks very real. But in Alyssa's sync video, it's harder to believe. A commenter sent the clip through an AI detector, which came back as 70% AI generated, although it's unclear how accurate these detectors are. Regardless of the inconsistencies, not everyone believed Alyssa could be this cruel, and defended her. Y'all criticize everything. Oh my god. This is clearly a child in a neglectful and abusive environment, and your first thought is to call them money hungry? Y'all realize moving is not easy. Let's not be quick to judge. Then somehow, the story got even worse. On September 11th, sitting at over $45,000, GoFundMe closed down the fundraiser. Typically, if this happens, it means the poster violated their terms of service, which could include anything from breaking the law to fraud. Alyssa quickly created a new fundraiser that included an explanation. Sadly, they have closed my account. I have provided them with every last detail I was able to show them that this is real. Sadly, so many people have been flagging them and emailing them with so much untrue information that they took down my original fundraiser. I'm not able to move out anymore. I'm not able to afford the proper meals for my animals. I'm no longer able to afford proper meals for myself. She also explained she's been unresponsive and not posting because she has been sick these past couple of days. As for those who still insisted it was fake, Alyssa had this to say: "I'm sorry if many of you thought this was fake. It never was. And I provided everything everybody asked for daily. I've messaged countless people privately who ask questions all the time, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough." But if provided everything everybody asked for daily also meant deleting and blocking comments, well, this would be a tough sell for Alyssa. In fact, when Alyssa uploaded video updates where she was sobbing about the incident,
I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
I'm so curious how this is gonna go down. Cause like, we should know, but I didn't read the thingy.
I don't know why people think it's fake. I literally
Just spots red flags.
I just wanted to leave, man. I've been cleaning my whole kitchen and my whole house every day, and I've been sick. I just wanted to get on with my...
Skeptics
Is it stolen valor of the, like, overwhelmed people? You play Eve, you trust no one. I mean, I deal with people on the internet. I trust very little, but I will listen to people, but I don't trust people. I'll trust you as far as I can throw you, but I still appreciate the fuck out of you, you know? Like, if you come to me and tell me something, I'm gonna take it with the same criticality as, like, my mother couldn't get that over on me, let's be honest. Like, my mom raised a gal who was not gonna listen to anybody unless she can prove it and stand on it. To which I appreciate her for.
Responded. Someone give her an Emmy for the performance she put on. That wasn't the end of it. There were red flags about this new fundraiser as well. Red flag number 8, inconsistency with identity and age. This time, the GoFundMe organizer was not Christopher Perez, but Alyssa Gonzalez. This is confusing because her Venmo name is Alyssa P, not Alyssa G. Was the P there to make it seem like she was related to Christopher Perez from the first fundraiser? Some theorized, cause Chris is probably her man. Then came confusion about her age. Since Alyssa said she's not allowed to work, and her brother helped set up the initial GoFundMe, this made people assume Alyssa was a minor. Some have even claimed they had responses from Alyssa saying she was underage. But the new fundraiser suggests she's an adult because GoFundMe does not allow minors to withdraw funds. Minors can, however, create an account with the approval of their parent or guardian. It's unclear if her mother approved the second fundraiser. Red flag number 9, decreased goal. This time, her cash goal was much lower, set at $6,500. A large difference from her initial $50K ask. In an IG highlight, Alyssa explained the reason for her previous goal. I had the goal pretty low because I did not think that my videos would get so popular. I just needed help. Once my videos started blowing up more, I raised the goal way higher so we can leave here permanently. I kept the goal at $50K after raising it and did not plan on raising it again, seeming to imply that since she lost popularity, she was asking for less. Red flag number 10, unclear spending. Alyssa was seen commenting conflicting information about whether she had cashed out any amount from the first GoFundMe. She responded to some people saying, "I had no control over cashing out anything. I literally said in the video I didn't receive anything." Simultaneously, she commented to another user writing, "I did get some money, so maybe I did receive your donation. But if you haven't gotten an email or anything, then you should definitely email them." Even in her now deleted fundraiser, there is a July 13th update post that implies she received some of the money, writing, "Thank you all so much for everybody's donations. I'm able to eat like I've never eaten before. I was able to buy cleaning stuff, animal stuff for my kitties and doggies, and the rest of the money, I'm saving it." She even posted proof of the cleaning supplies she bought, and some that others gifted. It's possible she may have been speaking about the Venmo and Cash App donations, but her consistent unclear communication has made people lose hope. Red flag number 11, reason for takedown.
Oh my fucking gosh, they keep accruing. We're getting the tea spilt on us while I do some
emailed Alyssa
random
with an explanation
infrastructure
of
code
why
shit on
her
my side.
fundraiser was shut down. But instead of being transparent, she uploaded a cropped email which only mentioned that refunds would be happening within 3 to 7 business days. She also clarified in a comment, still with no photo proof, that GoFundMe shut it down because so many people were reporting me with accusations and false information. Her social media quickly filled with backlash. On top of the GoFundMe, you are receiving Cash App payments and cleaning supplies. I don't know your full situation, but I can tell you that it seems very odd. It doesn't sit right with me. Why is it everyone else's responsibility to get them out of a situation they put themselves in? To expect all your income to come from strangers on the internet? Get up and do something about it. In an unexpected twist, just after one day, her newest GoFundMe went under review and ultimately taken down. But this time, would Alyssa finally come with proof? Alyssa provided the full email, which stated, "GoFundMe is no longer able to process donations for your account. Unfortunately, we won't be able to disclose any further information for the protection of our GoFundMe community. We have removed your GoFundMe account and any fundraiser within it." She also shared the
Oh, by the way, our infrastructure is done. I know this is a total tangent. Our infrastructure for managing some stuff that I want to fuck around with for the stream is kind of set again. I fucked up free IPA a little bit ago, so I couldn't authenticate just a lot of shit. But we're back to a point where I can do the bare minimum again. Downside is I can't connect. I don't know if I want to ever expose a free IPA interface or not. I don't really know how I feel about that. And I made my name in it something adorable. Here, can I just show you the bottom? I made it say VegCom the cutest. So I just made my last name in it the cutest. That's all. I know this is totally boring, unrelated, and doesn't need to matter, but by the way, infra's coming
provided to GoFundMe to prove her
quite
identity
nicely.
and living conditions. This included a medical wristband with the name Alyssa printed on it, and photos of what appears to be Alyssa with her cat, along with receipts and other footage of her house. She also added in her captions, "They deleted $40,000. I didn't even receive half of this.
Oh, after I get offline, do you want to play more games?
I was living off the Cash App
I just need to
and
deal with
Venmo,
migraine
only
shit.
adding more confusion
At some
as
point.
to how much she actually received from the platform. But so long as there's people standing by her side, Alyssa continues to ask for
I'll just move
donations
this.
through other platforms. For
There we
now,
go.
this story sits in a gray area, caught between—
I don't know, you pick. I might play Night Rain if you have nothing on mind, because I just play that alone a lot. So I haven't played since I've played once since it came out, and like that's kind of lame. I kind of want to fuck with that. So if you don't have anything or choose not to play games, that's what I'm going to do.
people can lie, and
So
but what
hot.
if she isn't? Leaving viewers in a tough position of offering support or turning a blind eye. While you're here, check out this story of a beloved chain caught in controversy, and consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Your support means a lot to us and helps us continue to create videos like these.
Okay. I know I took a break from my gaming.
Hello guys and
I'm
gals,
sorry, I'm fixing stuff.
Today I'm going to teach you how to break the law. So bookmark this video, well, break the law in a resistive manner. I'm not going to teach you how to be a criminal, but I am going to teach you how to fight against the crazy censorship that's going up against us. So I don't know if you know about this, okay, but today, well, if you live in Missouri, the great state, you might notice that your internet got a little bit more restricted today. Well, what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Missouri decided to pass their own set of age verification laws. And yeah, that means the internet in Missouri today is apparently going to be restricting you from accessing the adult websites. Basically any website that caters, I believe, 33% of its content skewing towards being harmful to minors, which is already an incredibly vague term. It could be anything from adult content all the way to things that whatever the discretionary board considers to be harmful, Now, many people can take this as censorship. To be honest with you, I think the internet censorship crap has gone on far enough, and it's ultimately a crusade led by politicians to bring in mass surveillance under the guise of protecting the kids. We'll talk about all of that, but to me, I wanted to show you guys a way to resist this crap and access the internet you know and love while keeping your privacy. And why? Because I think the politicians running this kind of crap are so old and decrepit, they actually don't understand how the internet works. So because of this stuff going on and people slowly resisting by looking up what a VPN is. So for instance, literally today, okay, the term VPN was searched in a breakout sense. Best free VPN for phone, best budget VPN, best built-in VPN, no lag VPN. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I don't even have an exit node for my head-scale VPN, so it's not to tunnel traffic out of the intranet. It is literally so I can send shit in my own thing, you know? That's all.
Oh, okay, that there's a lot of people in Missouri who just want to access the internet like they used to be doing in the freest country in the world. You know, we live in a day and age where America is becoming like China with the Great Firewall and all that bullshit, where people's access to information and general shit is being slowly restricted. Now, the problem that I have with these searches is when somebody in Missouri looks up best free VPN for iPhone, they're probably gonna download a free VPN that's actually stealing all of their information, that's actually malicious towards them. This law is almost a gateway for people to get their shit hacked and stolen. So I'm going to teach you guys how to get access to respectable VPNs in a private fashion. So in order to do this, right, we're going to have to engage with crypto, boys and girls. So inside my entire exchange in Canada, I realized very quickly, if not that I realized, I knew this, but in Canada, there's not really an easy way for you and I to buy anonymous crypto, because cryptocurrency in a lot of ways are subject to a lot of laws and regulations. So when you go to online exchanges, they'll ask you for your driver's ID, all that kind of crazy crap. So inside this experiment for today's video, I decided I'm going to go in my general area and find a place where there is a Bitcoin wallet, ladies and gentlemen, a Bitcoin ATM. Now these ATMs are really special. You can actually Google them in your area. So for instance, around where I live in Oakville Market, so to speak.
Oakville Market.
Yeah, I know you guys can probably oh, Moody, you're doxing yourself. Look, this is a big ass city.
It just sounds so funny. Not to be too much of a butthole. But it does.
Okay, so you're gonna knock on every door trying to find a fat Indian guy. I just don't. You get it, okay? So you go to this marketplace, and inside.
It just sounds like a fun thing to name a city or a town or what the fuck have you. I don't know, man. I think it sounds funny.
Oakville Market, ladies and gentlemen. It is actually inside this little market. This is what it looks like next to the Puff Puff Vape. So inside this store, somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, will exist a Bitcoin ATM. Now these Bitcoin ATMs are really special. You can connect them to your credit card, your bank card. You can deposit it that way, which kind of defeats the purpose of anonymity. Or in some cases, some ATMs will allow you to deposit cash anonymously. You know, what a novel concept. You can take your cash, your dollary dues, put them in, connect them to a Bitcoin wallet, and actually end up receiving money. As we're speaking, ladies and gentlemen, on my Bitcoin wallet, I actually did in fact receive some Bitcoin money. Now, using that Bitcoin crypto money, I can actually go to a decentralized exchange known as BISC. Now, BISC is by far one of the most popular exchanges on here, and apparently, according to the people who care about their anonymity, they guarantee no KYC. So again, what you're doing over here is you're finding another individual that has Monero, or you're swapping money around. So I took my Bitcoin and I swapped it for a currency known as XMR, which is Monero. So when I swapped $60 of Bitcoin for Monero, remember there are fees associated. In fact, even those Bitcoin ATMs I talked about, which are available in a lot of these convenience stores, do in fact charge higher than average fees. So imagine you're kind of just paying more for that extra sense of privacy. Now, if you don't really care about that, or if you want the convenience factor, use an online exchange. You can buy crypto literally in minutes. Now, once you have access to these cryptocurrencies, you can swap them on BISC for XMR. You should also go to Monero's website, and you should also set up a actual Bitcoin or Monero wallet over there, because it's actually a different currency. So for instance, underneath Monero, you can go to their website, you can go to the download section, for instance, download their GUI wallet and make a wallet here. So once you exchange from your Bitcoin wallet to your Monero wallet, you can then go to a respectable organization like Mulvad, for instance, go to their VPN service and pay them €5 per month. So because you transferred probably $60, you probably have enough money for several months of this service. So again, it's a simple matter of making an account number, going into your actual account page, and depositing the required amount of Monero to get access to their VPN service. So now, if you're in Missouri, for instance, now if you really care about your privacy and anonymity in any part of the world, not just Missouri, following these steps allows you to at least retain some level of your privacy and be able to at least partake in the internet that you ever used to love and is slowly being ripped away from you. Now again, privacy-wise, remember, because you went to a Bitcoin ATM, if the glowies really want to get you, it's as easy as figuring out on the Bitcoin transaction chain when the transaction occurred, going to that specific, convenience store you were at, pulling the CCTV. I mean, again, remember, you're not that important for the fucking glowies to go after, but if you really just cared about your privacy or anonymity and you didn't just want to exchange your ID around, because really you shouldn't have to be exchanging your fucking ID to access sites like Reddit, to access sites like YouTube, to access many services on the internet. You can go this way and then, using Mulvad, route yourself through a country that is still free and use that internet access to browse the internet you know and love. That is the actual steps that I took. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can use some civil disobedience, learned that in school, by the way, and fight back.
Teaching them the important lessons these days, I see. Teaching them to be clever. Well, what the fuck?
Against a tyrannical, near-fascist government, okay? That is what you have to do in order to thrive. So no matter what side of the fucking aisle you're on, boys and girls, at least you learned something today. You learned how to resist against a machine that will not stop at taking away every single civil liberty you have. Now you might be like, but Muda, aren't you just allowing those children to get harmed? Isn't this going to teach them how to access the internet? First off, kids are smarter than you think. They're going to be accessing crazy shit regardless. You want to know something about banning things? I want you to actually look at the history of what prohibition was in the United States. You know when we banned alcohol in the United States? What the fuck happened the next day?
More alcohol?
People started drinking hooch. People started drinking booze.
No, they started making it themselves in ways that aren't always safe. To be specific, I mean, it didn't necessarily go very fucking well. It wasn't necessarily great either.
A lot of booze that wasn't even quality tested. You want to know where this happens to this very day, ladies and gentlemen? No better than if you look at Saudi Arabia. This is from the Saudi Medical Journal, by the way. Visual and neurologic sequelae of methanol poisoning in Saudi Arabia. According to this, it's a retrospective series of 50 consecutive patients in the King Khalid Eye Specialist Hospital. So again, Saudi Arabia has really good, healthcare. Unfortunately, some people shy away from it, from what I understand, because of the societal implications. Like, I believe Saudi Arabia gives you free HIV/AIDS care, but obviously, with the whole cultural impact, right? Like, how'd you get it there, buddy? Did you did you play with Steve a little bit too much? That's not allowed in our country.
Oh, Steve isn't allowed in the country anyway, so I mean, whatever. You kind of get what you get, right? Like, it's not Steve's fault. I mean, it kind of is Steve's fault. He knew it was against the law, and he just had to go and suck that other dude off. Honestly, let's be real. You can't even give blowies there. I'm sure like a lot of you care about the like giving versus getting delineation, so you also can't get them. Which, you know, whatever. I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that sometimes will be very worried. And of course, in this case, there was a lot of people who admitted to medical professionals that they drank unbranded alcohol. They drank perfume or cologne because, yes, those do contain alcohol. The denatured kind, the really bad ones for you, within 1 to 3 days before losing vision in both eyes. Because, yes, alcohol is poison, okay? You are literally poisoning yourself as you go out and drink. At least with regulations and laws, we can at least, you know, when you go to a bar, right, they ask you for your ID, whatever, fine.
Honestly, the worst part about that is when I was a kid, none of them did that, and I just walk in, and I thought it was pretty fucking cool. And then I learned later on in life that that was really fucked up and they shouldn't have let me do that. But it kind of took me, like, living long enough to get past that part to really put it together. I was kind of dumb as a kid, let's be honest. That's why I still to this day think, no, kids are dumb as fuck sometimes, it's whatever. It's not whatever, but, like, stuff happens, you know. Stuff happens that maybe ought not to happen sometimes.
The bartender checks my ID, gives me a bottle of booze. We don't outright completely ban the thing and subject people to getting access to, you know, alcohol that is dangerous for them. And you could make an argument that, yeah, you know, when it comes to an adult website, we are asking for an ID for people to access. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit different on the internet because the internet is not the bar, okay? A lot of children that go to the bar will often get rejected, and they will keep getting rejected until eventually they go to the one shady dive bar that...
I mean, I went to a nice place that, like, let me... Primarily, I was allowed there because I just wanted to, like, listen to comedians be funny as fuck. And they just, like, had really cool shit go on there, so it was, like, kind of nice, you know? But... it didn't stay that way, clearly. Like, lol ups. Lol ups, brother. Lol ups. I mean, what, it should have. It shouldn't have let me in there, period. I just...
The money and might be okay with serving underage people drinks, but that's really the journey that people have to go to. It's not that it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, it does. But when it comes to the internet, yes, you can ban all American websites. But you can't ban internet websites from the Russian Federation. You can't ban them from Asian countries. You can't ban the internet outright. Children will still, unfortunately, be able to access those websites. So unless you go on the ISP level, and that breaks a whole bunch of other things, you're unfortunately allowing all the American websites to go down that do operate with a lot of regulation.
Here, I can compress this, man. I know I'm just loudly typing away in the background. I know. He'd be proud of what I'm doing, just not proud of my, like, low-effort reactor right now, I guess.
So making sure that performers are over the age of 18, yada, yada.
I'll feed him.
Even though that's also not perfect. If you ever see how the sausage is made, the adult industry is really a dark place to go down. You know, I made a video 3 years ago about trafficking, like 3-4 years ago, and I looked at some of the darkest stories in legal adult studios in this country alone. And it is one of the most disgusting rabbit holes that I went down, to the point that even watching any adult media is just never an okay thing. But again, these children, or really anybody who cares about the internet or accessing this kind of stuff, will go to those other websites and unfortunately be exposed to people that probably aren't the age of 18, maybe under, people that are exposed to really, you know, people that might be forcibly coerced into things. Where regulations often go down in this kind of world, people will go to those websites and see, unfortunately, things that they probably shouldn't. Now, the thing is, if you're an adult and you want to, if you're a child, right, the best thing you can do for
a child, don't do weird shit that adults do, and spare yourself, and just know that that's the best I can wish for you, is to spare yourself and avoid the weird bullshit that adults do. My cohorts are fucking twisted, bro. Like, there's nothing good about the nonsense that we get into some days. And yet, alas, we be doing it.
It is just be a parent, okay? Now, I can admit that these are very difficult conversations to have, but if you're going to bring somebody into the world, you should also walk in with the responsibility that at some point you're going to have these hard-to-have conversations. Now, look, when I was a kid, my dad told me, look, you're not weird for looking up internet, you know, pornography. It's something that happens. You know, every kid gets caught. I got caught. It happens. And the thing is, my dad was like, listen, it's just fake stuff. It is stuff that's going to completely... he told me that basically it's not real. It's going to distort my perception effectively, and that's what it came down to. And, you know, it's one of those things where, again, he told me about how people get addicted to it, and he mentioned that it was like a drug. And that's something that stuck with me to this day. It's one of the things where, you know, even, you know, smoking a cigarette or having a drink or something, it's when you see that you've started to develop a dependence on it. And then eventually, like any drug, you're just going to go constantly requiring it more and more, and you're going to want a harder and harder version of it. Pornography is not real. In fact, if anything, it will absolutely ruin your perception of how to, you know, even navigate things like sex. But this is not me having the talk with you. If you're a parent, you should have this talk with your kids. And ultimately, you should be using any form of parental controls on your devices that are...
I had, like, the weirdest having a kid dream. And it was like whatever,
available
but, you know.
locally to be stopping your children, or just again have these conversations. It's not. It is hard to have, but it is something.
Mind you, in my dream, the reason I'm saying it's the weirdest is because like they were so teensy tiny, and it was just every horrendous fear that could ever cross my brain.
Need to do regardless of anything.
Me at the same time.
So obviously, you know, this is something that I was taught. This is something that I believe ultimately lies on the back end of parents. We should not be turning the internet into a show us the ID and enter this website party, because ultimately, as we've seen, platforms like Discord, which required identification very recently, also had that identification hacked. These tech agencies don't care about your privacy. They don't care. Once your ID gets hacked, you're open to paramount amounts of, you know, internet identity theft or anything of that nature. Again, we shouldn't be turning the internet into this simply because parents are not parenting enough. If anything, like I've always said, if you're going to have children and you're going to give them unfettered access to these devices, because where else are children getting these cell phones, tablets, and computers? Granted, they're not earning the kinds of money that you would need in today's day and age to be buying these devices. So clearly it's the parents or somebody who is their guardian involved in this process. If you're going to give your kids access to this, you should be able to monitor or control it. It's like keeping alcohol around your house. If you're not able to...
Yeah, I kind of stole my dad's being an asshole, but don't judge me for that. Or don't judge him either. It's kind of like not his fault. I was kind of a piece of shit.
To lock it away or hide it or make sure that it's not being tampered with by your children, then you probably shouldn't have it in your home to begin with. At least I can accept it. Now to go back to, again, this situation, right? When VPNs started getting brought into the mix, obviously there are other laws that started to get brought in too. Because these government fossils know that, oh shit, people are just using VPNs to bypass the shitty laws that we made. What if we start targeting those gosh darn VPNs? And that is unfortunately what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds like it's going to be,
like it sounds like it'll be clever when I'm sure they say it at the first bit of it, but that's not the case.
There are now legislation that are being brought forward. The bill acknowledges a business entity that knowingly, intentionally publishes or distributes material harmful to minors on the internet from a website that contains a substantial portion of such material to prevent persons from accessing the website from an internet protocol address or internet protocol address ranges that is linked to or known to be a virtual private network system or provider. So again, a lot of these websites are going to have to be putting a lot more checks and balances on the VPNs that they go to. And the thing about VPNs is ultimately VPNs are not used for negative things. A lot of legitimate uses of VPNs come from accessing your company. Sometimes people that...
Yeah, that is the one that I'm the most used to. But also, I'm very much... How do I put this? How do I fucking put this? Our infrastructure for stuff that I'm testing and fucking with for fun, I don't want that exposed to the wider internet. Why? Because I don't need Grafana, Redmine, GitLab, and fucking OpenWebUI exposed to everything. Why further? Well, especially if I'm going to be testing how to manage automation of moderation through that, I don't need your data accessible by just everyone. If that's to prevent your data from getting out into the wider internet, why would I put it there? This has been my constant gripe since this came up, by the way. Is that not just do I have a use for in which I might put this to use for, but also
have to access
You
school
need it for
information
infrastructure.
through a school-provided VPN. And
Sorry.
in a lot of cases, VPNs are important to protect the privacy of individuals that have been abused. We can all agree in the world, unfortunately, there's a lot of domestic abuse that exists. And one of the things that you'll read about on places like domesticshelters.org that provides information to people that are escaping or have escaped and are trying to keep their anonymity from abusive partners will tell you that, yeah, you absolutely should be using virtual private networks. So for instance, after leaving an abuser, to protect your devices, use a VPN to hide your IP address and keep your browsing history hidden, and consider using a library computer or other public Wi-Fi network with the VPN for added anonymity. Because yes, when you go to websites without a VPN, at times your IP address can be logged, and sometimes that IP address can link to a pretty general part of a city. But sometimes that general part is all a domestic survivor will get scared of, because ultimately it closes down the pen needed to identify where you're actually at. You know, in a lot of ways, when it comes to, the government giving a shit about children to begin with, remember, there are ways for the government to counteract this kind of stuff without absolutely throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Remember, mass surveillance is like literally a few weeks away, months away from actually being solidified all over the world. If it's happening in the United States to such a degree, imagine other parts of
Usually we in the States, at least me in the States, looks at Australia to be the testing bed for wild and wacky shit first.
the world where the
we're both penal colonies. Well, I think Australia needs to clown on the States more for that reason, honestly, because not enough people in the States know it. They're like, oh yeah, we're purists, whatever. No, we were told our religion wasn't good enough when we were sent on a boat to go do some shit.
And the freedom foundations of a country aren't as rock solid and secure. The reason why it's being talked about state by state in the United States as of now is because there are a lot of checks and balances to the laws and regulations. If you truly disagree with this, write to your representative, even as futile as it may seem. I know in the EU, people don't want chat control, yet no matter what, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how you slice it, they will still try to push that dog shit through. But still, keep the fight going. You know, when it comes to a government, when it comes to how much they really care, remember, this is the same government that has been alleged in cases, right, of colluding with the Sinaloa drug cartel. Yeah, imagine the DEA colluding with the Sinaloa cartel, one of the largest drug trafficking organizations in the world. Now, again, you don't have to be somebody that is so fucking naive or so red-pilled to know that if you have a country with the strongest intelligence apparatus around you, it should make no sense that just south of the border, a few hours drive from, actually not even a few hour drives from some cities in Southern California, you can go across the border and see where the real Mexican cowboys reign supreme. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where, if you look into it, there have been whistleblowers allegedly in the DEA claiming that certain officials, motivated by financial gain or misguided notions of intelligence gathering, turns a blind eye to the Guzman brothers' activities. These alleged collusions allowed the Sinaloa cartel to operate with relative impunity, perpetuating the flow of fentanyl into the United States. Now, if these allegations hold true, it represents a staggering betrayal of the Americans' public trust. But ultimately, do they even give a shit? Will people actually rise up and fucking challenge the DEA to be dismantled if it turns out this is true? Which, honestly, you don't have to be an idiot to not somewhat believe. There's a lot of unbelievable conspiracy theories. But to tell me that the largest drug trafficking organization doesn't perpetuate its operations just south of the border because it ultimately has the approval from some elements of the United States to operate in the area. How the fuck do you think they get access to the craziest guns in the world? How the fuck do you think they're able to smuggle
Probably asking nicely. Are you gonna tell me I'm
much
wrong?
dope across the border? You know, if they were really the threat that they were, if they were really bad, their balls would be snipped, which they have had a long time ago. Now, I'm not bringing this up for no real reason. Obviously, when I think about illegality, which does happen a lot on adult websites, yeah, obviously the government can go after some of these websites, and they do. For instance, when it came to girls do pornography, Michael Pratt ended up getting, sentenced to 27 years for sex trafficking hundreds of women in this situation. So if the government wants to go after drug traffickers, human traffickers, they absolutely can. When it comes to the internet and many of these websites exist, existing. There is a case that, yes, some people can access illegal material, but when does it stop, right? Obviously, we can keep going down the privacy train until every single aspect is unfortunately taken away from us. But even that is impossible, because for every VPN they infiltrate, another one will sprout up. But it's a matter of identifying which VPN that you're going to be going to that is safe for the general.
Like, you could just run your own Tailscale VPN. As soon as I publish my code base to, like, the rest of the world, all you have to do is toggle the entry or the exit node part. But I'm gonna say I don't do that, so I don't know if that'll break. And personally, I don't think it sounds very cool. It does not sound very cash money, my dudes. Not that it's supposed to, but, like, you know, for fuck's sake, bro. I just don't give a flying fuck. What?
Person, which will become harder and harder as this fight goes on.
I'm a loser.
And when it comes to things like the dark web, for instance, that's the ultimate last final boss. When does it happen? When, like, some of these legislators make it so that downloading the Tor browser or having it on your system would one day be considered illegal, right? Again, you know, when you look at...
Well, I still have the expert bundle, like, tucked away somewhere. I don't really use it. Like, I kind of live on the public internet right now. I don't know, bro. But if they make the Tor browser, I mean, just get the fucking, I don't know. I long for the good old days when you only had the Tor expert bundle and you didn't have a browser with it and you had to, like, set up your own browser correctly and you couldn't fuck it up or else you were just fucked. I miss those days. Those were good days.
The internet, when you look at the freedom that we have, you can't really look away from the fact that all of this just comes down to monitoring what you're doing.
Loser.
Again, the government decides what is vague and harmful for children, and it could literally be anything according to how these laws are written. In reality, it's the government around the world, every single organization, trying to make it so that you give up your identification to access the internet. And the people that are exempt from this are the people that are legislating it on you, and it's the people that are up at the top echelon of society that are not subject to the same rules you and I are. And you could say, no matter what, listen, they're gonna know what I'm doing. That is true. You know, you can obviously give up and be defeatist about it, but obviously when you look at how much of your information is floating around out there, you can take reasonable steps to limit it as much as you can. I don't think anybody really envisioned that your information should be floating through servers that don't take care of your security whatsoever. And even if there is a big data leak that happens because of it, unfortunately, there's not really much other than a vague slap on the wrist for a lot of these organizations. So if you know the punishment for the people that are supposed to be overseeing your privacy isn't that high, should you really trust them into having your information that could actually be used against you down the road, right? If things do get leaked. Remember that going forward. And what's to say when a government decides what...
Google starts sharing all text messages with your employer on company-managed phones. I don't know why you wouldn't expect that. Like, that just sounds like how they would do things. Like, it's not even a condemnation of Google. It's if you're literally on a company-managed asset and your first thought is, hey, let's send a personal text. I think that sounds weird. I think that actually sounds fucking weird. If not fucking lazy. I think it sounds like the thing you do if you're making a mistake and are being a goofball. I don't know how you fucking go there. That doesn't make sense to me. That sounds weird. That sounds very fucking weird. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
Is and isn't illegal to see. What happens when a website is tripped by the big government and the big, like, organizations into being dangerous or harmful and puts you on, like, the craziest watch lists? How scary is it when you have your government mandated ID tagged with every single website that I guess you're not supposed to go to? At what point is this not some vague form?
Bro, the company sending it to, bro, that is like living fucking hell. How are you so fucking ignorant that you don't think that's gonna happen?
of censorship, where in order to access information that is too risque,
you have to
start giving
up
your personal
fuck.
Identification to access things. What they're doing is adding a barrier of annoyance, but they're also adding a barrier where they can catalog where and when you go to. There is going to be no option to browse the internet at your own leisure, at your own privacy, as opposed to being somebody that is always watched, always monitored, always tracked in every single way. This makes it so that if you're a journalist, this makes it so that if you have an actual reason for privacy, it becomes almost near impossible for you to do, which is ultimately a net negative in society. Decades ago, we created the internet at this point, right? A technology that allowed people to talk to each other. We opened up Pandora's box. And somehow the oldest politicians in the world, motherfuckers that have been alive since the end of World War II, now suddenly want to decide how to control this technology that they don't even completely understand. So what they're going to do is they're going to destroy the ever-loving shit out of it. And look, at the end of the day, one of the wildest things about this, too, is that it doesn't just stop here. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up going at places like the dark web down the road. The dark web, which was a technology made or initially conceived by the U.S. Navy when it came to things like onion routing, eventually blew it to its own project, where...
It was supported by the U.S. Navy. It's not entirely by them. It was heavily financially influenced by them, though. That's different. Just a little nitpick. My deepest apologies. Because I have also parroted the same fucking half-baked bullshit before. No, they just staunchly supported it financially because it's more effective for them if they can have assets, foreign and domestic, turn on people when they think they should. And it's like basically free intelligence services agents. You don't have to do anything. You literally just let people tattle on themselves. It's much more cost-effective than paying someone to do something. It's a very cool money-saving tactic. Got no complaints with it existing. Do appreciate when it's used well and has positive outcomes. Operation Friends Welcome does seem like a fucking detriment to multiple nations' economies, though.
Actually, a percentage of the funds for this kind of stuff does come from the U.S. government. And the thing about anonymity and free speech and censorship is that ultimately you have to understand that for these technologies to exist, for your safety to be protected, you unfortunately have to live in a world where people can use these same technologies for bad reasons. Now, I don't want to sit here and promote things like drug.
I'm going to rewind that. That's about to be funny.
Use these same technologies.
I'm going to clip this part later.
For bad reasons.
I can't help it.
Now, I don't want to sit here and promote things like drug use, but this is actually a prime example of something that I've spotted on the deep web that would probably be banned or require you to use an ID that I think is helpful for people that are going through drug issues. You know, drugs are not something that you can get rid of. I heard somewhere that once we discovered the value of cocaine, we lost the war on drugs. But using things like r/harm reduction, which is a, dreaded subreddit, yes.
I mean, I just had to call it Mr. Some Ordinary on Bibles and Coke.
It's a Reddit on the dark web that people can use in order to...
Oh, and sorry, you don't think you have a PvP games with... Sorry, I was in a match. I don't think I have any PvP games with you. I'm only on the climbing game, and that gets pretty repetitive.
Learn how to make sure that what they have bought is safe is something that is inadvertently saved lives. Now, again, I'm not saying that you should be taking drugs whatsoever. I do not promote that. Do not do any form of illegal drugs. Hell, keep away from the legal drugs as much as you can. But generally, places like this exist that would be locked behind an ID that ultimately do provide resources that probably save more lives than, the government wants to give them credit for. The internet, they're going after the VPNs next. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go after things like the dark web next. It doesn't stop until every bit of your privacy is taken away. But at least in the beginning of this video, I hope you learned that there are still ways in the internet-connected age that we have that you can retain your privacy. And there are ways that you can fight back. If these organizations start going after Bitcoin ATMs, places where you can only transact and do so much business, such a small amount at a time that it really isn't even all that big of a deal, I hope that'll answer your question what the ultimate goal of this is. And it's not to protect the kids. It's to take away the only bit of privacy that you have left.
Well, what?
300 years ago, when America was a nation that formed, right? It was formed to fight off against a mass wave of tyranny. Unfortunately, if the founding fathers were alive today, I think they would probably be fucking ashamed at seeing that tyranny come back into the country that they came to, that they loved, that they built with their own two hands. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.
Are you a banana? Oh, it literally says this banana misses you. I just immediately knew the logo was like a banana. Like, you can't put yellow and blue in that color combo that close together and me not think it's a banana. I'm kind of cursed. Okay. I've been sitting on this. This is like the biggest reason why we're here
Now, I know
today.
what you're thinking. Why jailbreak a calculator? There's no point.
This is the reason we're here today. The whole stream is just me hyping up this. There's nothing else today. It's like nothing else existed, nothing else will exist. It is purely just this. And if you thought that anything else existed, you're fucking high. You're just fucking high.
Point. You can just,
I guess, you know,
run programs off of it anyways, right? There's no need to jailbreak it. Well, not exactly. The story behind that is a lot more complicated than that. And the more I looked into the scene, the more I realized how it's not any different from the other 20 modding scenes that I've seen before. Yeah, running custom programs, games, moddable tools, and a bunch more on your calculator has been around for decades. But jailbreaking calculators just wasn't a thing until just a few years ago. And the big reason that this is happening is about reclaiming a feature that these calculator companies sold to them, but then took away after they purchased the device. This is the last place I thought this would be happening in. Yeah, as it turns out, there's a pretty big calculator community that really cares about their calculators and follows all the software updates and everything. Like, seriously, the announcement of the TI-82 was like
I got a little bit into this and I immediately fucking paused and was like, we're doing this on stream today.
PS5 moment for them. And for a really long time, being able to just install custom programs on your calculator.
This is the pure reason we are fucking. I was so excited I brought it to you.
It was just a given. It was actually encouraged by companies like Texas Instruments. But over the past decade, there's been more pressure on big calculator from administrations and exam boards to remove the ability to install programs for fear of cheating. Now, I want to put this up in the front of the video because there is a well-documented history of YouTubers unfortunately creating misconceptions of what's possible with calculators. So just to be clear, this jailbreak doesn't allow you in any way to cheat. This is not a way to bypass exam mode. And as it turns out, the calculator community is very anti-cheating. There's like this unwritten rule to not create cheating programs just out of ethics reasons. And asking for cheating help anywhere in the scene is just like begging to be kicked or banned or made fun of. And funny enough, there's actually a spike of new members in Discord servers every—
Like, sometimes you need tools that give you access to stuff, but you shouldn't use those tools to be a dickhead. You should use those tools to be an appropriate person.
Single year around fall time, with most of them just asking for cheating help. So don't do that. Also, there is an exam mode on all the big calculators that prevents cheating. Like, this is actually required by law in a lot of countries to have on your calculator. The thing is, teachers just don't use it or know that it exists. If someone wants to cheat, either they didn't use exam mode or the teacher didn't bother to learn how to use it. That's on the administrators to know how to use their tools, not on the people who just want to make little programs. They're entirely separate. Now, here's where it gets just ridiculous. In 2020, a teacher explained how he was able to bypass exam mode on one of the Texas Instruments calculators that was already patched for 2 years at that point. And from almost out of embarrassment, TI finally decided they had to do something. And instead of just informing administrators and boards to ensure that their students' calculators were up to date, they pushed an update that completely removed the ability to add programs on your calculator, stating that,
after careful consideration, we made the decision to remove ASM functionality in our latest OS update to prioritize learning and minimize security risks.
That had nothing to do with each other. And the community at the time was not happy.
Bad move, stupid move, dumb move. It's just a crappy move and makes absolutely no sense and makes no difference whatsoever. And really all that's serving to do is antagonize that community that has been around for so long and put them in a position.
I mean, they are some of my favorite hacksaws, gonna be honest.
Where they might start trying to break the security rather than protect these secrets.
I cannot stress this enough. This is absolutely retroactively removing a feature that they actively marketed as a selling point of their devices. Where have I seen that before? Okay, but whatever, we just won't update. We could easily get around this, but we don't want to try and poke the bear. Let's just keep our calcs on older firmwares and enjoy our programs through there. And then Texas Instruments decides that running any game on your calculator from that point forward would void the warranty of your calculator. Yeah, okay, now you're starting to see what's happening now. So the community acted pretty fast and decided their hand was forced here and created a jailbreak to bring back the ability to reinstall programs onto these calculators. A feature that, for some users, was still advertised on the box that they bought the calculator in. And all was well again. But the distrust was still there, and it seemed like unofficially that the community and its relationship was in a don't tread on us and we won't tread on you type of thing. And that brings us to this year, when a YouTuber posted a video about cheating on a TI-84 Plus. And again, pressure was put on TI to do something about cheating. So they released another update that patched the jailbreak. Only this patch didn't actually patch the YouTuber's exploit, since he used hardware to modify the device. Also, you know the really dumb thing?
Why did they audit this and approve it? What did their change fucking do?
About this, that's not even the same calculator. So in reality, the patch only further hurt the legitimate community while doing nothing to actually fix what the YouTuber did. In fact, you can go buy one of these pre-made calculators right now. I have no idea why this dude still has the source code up for this. So we've seen this story a lot, unfortunately. A company retroactively removing features that were advertised to sell the product, and the community having to take back the basic features that they were promised when they bought the damn thing. But they worked fast, and 3 months after the patch, there's already a new jailbreak for this, which brings back program functionality and gave me an opportunity to really dig into the calc scene and show you everything that's possible on your calculator. And just to be super clear, jailbreaking is completely safe. It won't mess up your calculator. It's just to bring back the ability to reinstall programs. And if you're super paranoid, you can just delete the jailbreak at any time. Okay? All right.
Based.
So let's talk about the most popular calculator you'll see around. The TI-84 Plus Colored Edition. Is that the right? No way. They don't actually call. Okay, I just checked. It stands for Color Enhancement. Not, okay, yeah, because I was going to say, Jesus Christ. You might have seen its older brother around a lot more, the OG TI-84 Plus. Yeah, I definitely had this one in college because it was the only one that was allowed in class. This one is also moddable, but we'll talk a bit more about that later. This CE version is basically the next one in line with a colored display and a bit better processor. So it's important to note, for some calculators, you might not actually need to jailbreak. They never remove the ability to install apps on older firmwares for some reason. If you want to check what firmware you're on, you just hit second, then plus, then the about page. This one is 5.8.2, so it's a pretty new firmware, so it can't install apps on its own. Fortunately, jailbreaking is stupid easy. It's literally just drag and dropping a few files. Let me show you. First thing we want to grab is Artifice. That's the jailbreak for this calculator. I'll link it in the
got a cute name
description. We also want to grab the TI Connect app. This will let us install stuff into the calculator. Okay, we're ready. Let's plug in our calculator. So the jailbreak is going to come in an 8xp file. Get familiar with this extension. It's basically the APKs of the calculator world. Anyways, we're just going to drag and drop that over to the calculator. Let's go check and see if it's installed. You're going to hit program and just hit enter 3 times. And if you see this, congrats, that's it, you're jailbroken. So now you should be able to install apps again. Okay, let's plug this back into the computer to install one more thing, CE libraries. This is a bunch of files that a lot of apps are going to need to actually run on your CE. Same thing, just drag and drop it into your calculator. Okay, now we're ready. Now the first thing you're going to want to install is a shell. Think of these like front ends, but for your calculator. Think like Emulation Station or RetroArch or Steam Big Picture Mode, but for your calculator. I'll leave links to a bunch of these in the description, don't worry. Navigating to your apps the normal way is kind of messy and not really intuitive, so a shell is going to help you put everything in one place with some added extra features built in. By the way,
cute.
Install them exactly the same way as any other app.
Does it run Python, or does it just is it just named Python? Because if it runs Python, I mean, I like my pocket chip as much as the next gal who has busted up old hardware around the house still, motherfucker. Who has busted up old hardware around the house still, but like, honestly, I mean, I still have my old pocket chip. Like, for reals. No bullshit, bro. Like, it still kicks. It still breathes. It still lives. It is in my house, doing nothing. It is a good crash cart, number 2. Like, if my Steam Deck and if my desktop's broken, I fix it from the Steam Deck. If both of those are broken, I'll probably go reaching for this in a heartbeat. I'm gonna see if I can charge it, like, after stream. That'll be fun. It has not been on in ages. I would probably just, like, put Kali Linux on it or something, because it's a really well-spun Debian base. Like, they initially made it for the hacksaws to do their hacksaws works, but present day, it's just really, really well built up fucking base, not base, but it's like they gave you a very slim image, and it's got the important thing on it, of Debian.
Don't worry. Then you can launch them up.
Not the most important thing ever. Arch Linux is awesome and lovely and great, but like, For what it's worth, it does have that. It's very handy.
By hitting programs and launching it here. Now everyone has their own favorites, but I'm gonna show you a few of the really popular ones, like Cesium. This one is most people's go-to. It gives a much cleaner layout to everything, and it's much more organized than navigating your calculator the old way. I personally really like this one called Seashell, with a C, that presents your apps in a really nice grid icon, and you can customize it with a bunch of different color schemes. It's really cutesy. Vision
really
V2
cute.
tries to directly replicate the look and feel of a proper desktop setup, and it is really straight.
It's because base Ubuntu is fucking high right now, and it seems like it's on some weird drug that no one knows how to explain.
Seeing this on a tiny screen. But a lot of people like it. You
by
can
the
even
way.
change the wallpaper too if you want. Also, check out this
It's a
super
mess.
weird macOS Monterey shell.
It's a
I don't
legit
even know what to
mess.
do with this. But funny enough, it does come pre-packaged with some extra apps that you can use. Oh, right. Okay, let's talk about the apps. So there are a lot of different apps that can be installed on the CE. Some add functionality to your calculator, while some are really just goofy, fun stuff apps.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
For example, there's an app called Math Tools. It's really nice. It's like a smarter calculator with a bunch of different features like an equation solver, linear equations, and even a calculator. Finally, a way to solve math problems on your calculator.
All right.
Then there's a pretty new app called Leaf Editor, which is a really modern looking text editor app that you can store small notes in. This is already built into the stock calculator OS, but this one has a lot more features like special character support, and even a nice way to customize the theme. It's a really nice experience. Wait, hold on, what's this? Oh, hey, that's a script for today's sponsor. That's right, I'm gonna read the whole sponsor segment off of the calculator. Let's go. If you hate having to call around for doctors, wait around on hold, hoping that somebody picks up the phone, booking appointments, and dealing with all of the insurance shenanigans on top of that, you should really try ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a completely free service that makes finding any sort of medical professional way easier. You can search by location, by specialties, and you can even filter by what insurance you have to find a professional that's local or online. You can check out patient reviews left by real patients, and when you're ready, you can book right then and there and see them usually within 72 hours of booking. See? Done. Easy.
I'm not mad at computers. I think. I am mad at computers, and I'm about to throw things at them.
Don't have to worry about calling
lie.
around anymore. And with lots of different professions from over 100,000
Even though I
verified
wish I
providers,
could,
from
'cause
general
it'd be
doctors,
easier.
dentists, dermatologists, eye doctors, and a lot more, you're bound to find someone that you like. If you've been putting off seeing a medical professional just because you can't seem to get around to it, scan the QR code right here and just try it out. It's free. And thanks again to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video so we can keep making cool videos like this. So by far the
I will fucking break it.
biggest appeal of apps
Not ZocDoc. I mean, my computer's being a butt munch, and I need to
is
throw
the
things at it.
games. Because this calculator can run some of the popular programming languages, people go out of their way to try to demaster popular games and port them over to the CE. For example, I ran to install Celeste when I saw it as an app.
I played a little bit of this off camera, and for the first 20-ish minutes, I was stuck on the very first level because, you know, I'm playing on a calculator controller, not even like real controllers. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that bad. Oh man, the controls are so slippery with a calculator. I'm sorry.
Flappy Bird.
So salty right now.
Yeah, you know the one. Fun fact, this game is actually the main cause of my first breakup. Well, actually, maybe.
Mine's definitely Prince of Persia, but it's okay because we're friendly these days. But it was definitely Prince of Persia. It was, how do I put this? Really important to me.
That's not a fun fact.
Yeah, that's how you put that.
Oh man.
That's definitely
Bro,
how
there's
you
no
put
way.
that. That's
There's
definitely
actually
how you say that.
no way, dude. Ain't no way. I want to see your favorite streamer.
Gamers unite. Our first breakups being because we sure do love those video games. You know, I'm here for it, bro. I'm 100% here to support it. Now, for what it's worth, same person loves video games too. So, like, I'm sure they would never do such a thing to anyone in the future. Point being, everyone can come around to the right way to do things.
Play Geometry Dash on the calculator. See how good they can do. Also, fun fact, they never actually updated the hardware for this thing for, like, ever since it came out. It's just been the same hardware, and this thing came out in 2015, so this is 10-year-old hardware. This is not just calculator hardware, this is 10-year-old calculator hardware. Here we go. Alright. Alright. No! Oh, God. Whatever. There's another level I want to try. Oh, look! It actually keeps track of your progress. That's crazy. Now, the fun part is that this actually has its own level editor, too, so you can, like, build your own levels and then, you'll play them on your calculator if you want. I don't know who the hell is doing that, but it's 100% an option. Oh, we're cooking now. Here we go. What?
This is Origami, a really nice platformer about a plumber who likes to jump on turtles and collect coins. There's also a lot of custom maps for Oriam that you can download and install onto the calculator. This is straight up like Mario Maker for calcs. That's crazy.
Ooh, this man can run, but can he jump? He can. I wonder if they got the secret. Where is it? It's somewhere around here. You know, the secret question mark. Come on, it's gotta be around here somewhere.
Legally distinct from Mario, of course. We would never go out of our way to display trademark protected Nintendo content. That'd be crazy.
Kidding.
Anyways, here's Pokemon Crystal running directly up the calculator. This is really weird seeing this running here, but it's all possible thanks to an app called TI Boy, a Game Boy emulator that is surprisingly incredibly robust. Like seriously, this is really impressive for a regular port, much less a calculator port. It's got pretty much everything you'd want: rebindable keys, a turbo mode, color palette changing, and save states. On a calculator, it's actually regularly updated, and it recently got an update so it can not only run Game Boy games, but Game Boy Color games. I don't expect this to ever run Game Boy Advance though. That's way too much for this thing. They even have an online ROM and save converter where you can just drop in your ROM and it'll convert the game into a bundle package you can just drag and drop over to your CE. Now these games take up a lot of space relative to the calculator. Expect only to get like 2 games max running on this thing. But it's still really cool that they managed to get something this robust running on this thing. But of course, the big question, can it run Doom? Kinda. A stripped down version, but not really. Okay, listen, even the original Doom required a minimum 8 megabytes of RAM. The CE has like 4. And it's being shared with the rest of the operating system. Now there are some homebrew ports of Doom for the calculator, but they are really not Doom, if that makes sense. The closest thing I was able to replicate really was this Game Boy Color homebrew port of Doom, but even this one is really bare bones.
Oh, and there's no guns in this version, so that's coming later.
This is about as good as we're gonna get, but hey, I'll let you decide. Does this count?
I'm fighting a thing.
Now there are other calculators that I wanted to cover, but I ran out of time. But just know that there are other modding scenes for the original TI-84 Plus with their own set of games that don't require a jailbreak to play. I mean, look at this stuff. Some of this is just ridiculous. And the TI Inspire CX, which has considerably more RAM than most calculators, which means you can do a lot more cool stuff with them. Well, used to. They also have their ability to install programs taken away, but there's a jailbreak for that one too called Endless, and they have their own story that spans over like 2 decades at this point. This one has way better hardware than most calculators, so there's a lot more interesting stuff you can run on these. I actually bought this one too, but you know, time constraints, so let me know if you want to see a video on that. If you want to find more places to find cool stuff and figure out what the calculator community is up to, here's a few suggestions that I have for you. The Chemitech forum has been around for a very long time and are constantly posting news about projects that are going on in the calculator scene. You can just go to the download tabs and find most of the stuff that you're looking for. There's also a GitHub page with a lot more downloads and programs and tools for a big range of different calculators. It's a great starting point to figure out what you want to do next. There's MyCalcs, which is like straight up my anime list, but for calculators. And TI Calc, which I won't lie, looks a little outdated, but it's the biggest host of calculator programs. I found a lot of really cool stuff in there. Also, there's an awesome video running through the entire timeline of the TI drama from start to finish that I'll link in the description. Last Millennial and a lot of other contributors helped a lot with the research of this video. A lot of these groups also have Discord servers, but these guys are like really into IRC over there for some reason, which hey, I can respect that. But I'll post some communities that you can check out in the description. Believe it or not, calculators are actually how a lot of people end up being programmers. Yeah, it turns out having less than 150 kilobytes of data to work with forces you to be really creative. And while my relationship with my calculator just ended at buying whatever they had at the college student store and being done with it, a lot of people are really passionate about these things. And there's a lot of different calculator scenes, each with their own stories and issues that it's had to overcome to get to this point. It's really cool seeing this scene mod their way out of situations like this just so they can go keep their community alive. Like, you'd be surprised what you can do with really low powered hardware like this. Like, for example, I was able to take one of these cheapo Amazon Fire tablets and jailbreak it to turn it into a Stream Deck, or a second monitor, or a lot of other things. They're constantly going on sale too, so they make a great secondary device once you mod them. Click over here, I made a whole video on how to jailbreak these Fire tablets. It's really, really cool. And thank you for watching.
Thank you for presenting. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm gonna run off because my head still hurts. I appreciate you. I want you to be well, I want you to take care and have a lovely one. Y'all rock just because you breathe. That's all there really needs to be about it. Okay, take care, bye-bye. I'm gonna put my timestamps in first before I forget, because I sometimes forget and it's really sucky of me. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure I could type without seeing it. I mean, I know, but I also, like, I know I bumped the wrong key at least once. Like, I outright bumped the wrong key once, so we're gonna fucking live. Sorry, I'm gonna go nurse my headache into loving me again, because it hurts like the dickens, and I deserve better than that. I'm also gonna make something to eat and be a goofer. I've been very lethargic. I can't really help it, I'm sorry. Okay, double checking my Tim Stumps. I couldn't type, but we fixed it. Okay, Tim Stumps are in. Tim Stumps. Alright, thank you all for everything. I'm so sorry. I just need to go do stuff. So, be okay. Have a lovely one. I appreciate you immensely. Please take care. That's really all there is to it. Y'all rock. Be okay. Bye-bye. Boop. Where the fuck is the button? I found the button. I know, streams will not always be this short, but sometimes you get to, like, cuss at me all night if you want to. That's how I make up to you for this. You can cuss me out until you get bored.